Chapter 222. Many years later, March 11th, 2011 in the Gregorian calendar will be called Day of God. The Tianfu Square in our city will become a pilgrimage place for countless young people to seek immortality and become apprentices. It was at this time and place that a mysterious hole was opened in the world of science and technology. More and more supernatural beings that had been hidden in the past surfaced. The declining method of cultivation burst forth with its last dazzling light in the 21st century. Xian Yuanping stares at the sky. The smile in her eyes has disappeared. Huang Weijian's neck is pinched and he has difficulty breathing. Blue veins stand out on his face. Xian loosens her grip on his neck, and he gasps for thin air. Bewilderment, anticipation, disbelief, and relief. These different emotions intertwined. Everyone looked up at the blue sky. Under the blue sky, among the looming white clouds, a smooth flying sword is suspended in the air. It is a woman in a green ancient dress who looks like a fairy. Her voice is beautiful, her body is exquisite, and her eyes are as beautiful as glass. However, people can't see her face clearly and can't remember what she looks like. Lin Luoran does this on purpose. She doesn't care about exposing herself as a cultivator, but she doesn't want the whole state of Wuxia to know what she looks like. Otherwise, she will have to hide in the mountains and swamps. What a coincidence. Xian Yuanping throws Huang Weijian to the ground and claps her hands. She says hello to Lin Luoran in the air casually, as if they are old friends who haven't seen each other for a long time. Of course, they probably can't be friends for the rest of their lives. So much nonsense. Lin Luoran glances at the scene. She is not satisfied with these onlookers. Dad, take them away first, including Luodong. Take them to the Lin family. Lin Luoran says to her father through her spiritual mind. Mr. Lin blinks, indicating that he understands. Lin Luoran and Xian Yuanping are both charming women. They are two different beauties. Lin Luoran walks with lotuses and Xian Yuanping comes on a sword. They have already attracted everyone's attention. Although the cameras of many TV stations are damaged, it doesn't stop these dedicated journalists from taking out their phones to record. It's a pity that they can't do a live broadcast. This is their common thought. Lin Luoran lives up to their expectations. She is still greeting Xian Yuanping. The next moment, several beams of red light fall from the sky like fireworks, turning into a rain of fire. The area covered is extremely wide, and the edge of the square is also affected. Xian Yuanping is confused by such an attack. This is a rain of Reiki, which has no attack power at all. However, it makes ordinary people on the edge of the square run away. It was inevitable for people to be afraid of the unknown. Whether it was the police, the reporters, or the citizens who were brave enough to stay at the edge of the square, they did not know if the sudden rain of fire was an existence similar to snake venom. They all took shelter, and the scene became chaotic. Could these be corrosive liquids? This may be the thought of most of the ordinary people on the scene. Among the dozens of policemen, only a young policeman does not hide. His eyes are shining. He believes that the woman on the sword is not that kind of person. Although they haven't seen each other for 3 or 4 years, Officer Li still recognizes Lin Luodong at a glance. He had just graduated from the police school when he encountered such an incident. Lin Luodong is now completely different from the skinny boy he used to be. However, the small movements between his eyebrows will not change much. Officer Li remembers him at once. Also, it is easy for him to recognize Lin Luoran, who deliberately blurs her face. Officer Li is calm when the crowd is jumping up and down. Back then, when he was young, he and 2 kind-hearted women helped a little boy together. This child seemed to be living a good life now. This memory was rather heartwarming. Officer Li watched as the youth and the people who had just shown off their abilities quietly retreated from the crowd without making a sound. After Lin Luodong and the others successfully leave, the rain of fire also stops falling. Completely different from the corrosive liquids in their imagination. The rain of fire quickly penetrates the skin as soon as it touches people's bodies. There is no pain. It is more like a kind of nutrient solution, which makes people feel full of vitality and refreshes their spirits. Even some old diseases seem to be relieved at this moment. The rain of spirit energy is very effective. Is the woman on the sword really a fairy? feeling the wonderful changes in the body. Even the most determined atheist will be shaken at this moment. Not to mention the giant snake, the golden hawk, the sword master, the boy, and even the woman in black who walks with lotuses on her feet. All of them have paved the way for Lin Luoran's appearance. Standing in the air on the flying sword, it is not a camouflage. Seeing that Lin Luoran is trying to win people's hearts, Xian Yuanping sneers. You are really generous to use a large-scale rain of Reiki on these ordinary people. Therefore, how can she not hate these talented cultivation geniuses? Ordinary cultivators are struggling on this earth where Reiki is weak, but they dare to waste their talents like this. This world is so unfair. An unfair world needs people to reconstruct the rules. Xian Yuanping's mind moves, and the black lotus that never leaves her hand appears in an instant. Lin Luoran has already held the bright sword. She turns into a sword light and slashes down. In just 3 seconds, they have been fighting. No one is at a disadvantage, and no one is at an advantage. The onlookers are still sighing that the fight is too dull, but Xian Yuanping is already shocked. As the person who once caught Lin Luoran and humiliated her in the blood pool dungeon, Xian Yuanping is more surprised than anyone else about Lin Luoran's progress. She has long known that Lin Luoran has entered the level of laying foundation, but she doesn't know that Lin Luoran has become so powerful. Lin Luoran is undefeated in a head-on fight. Xian Yuanping is afraid of Xian Yuanping's talent, but she hates Lin Luoran even more. Just you wait for me to avenge my broken arm. Xian Yuanping moves her black lotus, and comes to Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran is always on guard against her. The bright sword is always the first move, but Xian Yuanping dodges it. Lin Luoran, you will need my help soon. Let's wait and see. Trust me, it will be very soon. There is a burst of black smoke, and people in the square all cough. When the smoke dissipates, Xian Yuanping is no longer standing there. Ordinary people don't see how she disappears, but Lin Luoran sees it clearly. The woman in black disappears among the tall buildings in the downtown area in a few leaps. When the black smoke dissipates, only Lin Luoran is left in the square, thinking about what the woman in black said. She stands there quietly. Goldie comes to her side in a few steps. It doesn't want to give up its pride as a golden hawk in public. It can't act cute, so it stands beside Lin Luoran obediently. This scene reminds some people of the widely circulated photo on the internet. A golden hawk and a beauty in ancient clothes. Is she the fairy riding a hawk? I'm really sorry that I haven't updated for a few days. I have too many social engagements during the festival, and I can't concentrate on writing. I'm not satisfied with what I write. Chapter 223. Lin Luoran is not in the mood to think about the onlookers. She is worried about the giant snake trapped in the square. Is it the red snake that came back to life, or is it a posthumous child? The latter is more troublesome for Lin. Snakes are oviparous and semi-oviparous animals. There is no hermaphrodite. If it is a posthumous child, it is very likely that there is a male snake in the deep mountain. Who knows when it will come to make trouble again? To test it, Lin Luoran directly wraps the snake with wackin and plans to take it home for research. Seeing that she was kneading it like dough, the snake monster crackled for a while before it was forcefully kneaded back into the shape of a little red snake. Goldie spreads its wings and Lin Luoran jumps on its back. Lin Luoran can feel that Goldie is in an unstable state. It seems that something unexpected has happened to Goldie. Lin Luoran decides to go back and check on Goldie. It is the courageous anchor of RTV2. Seeing that Lin Luoran has a positive image, how can he let go of such an opportunity? However, he just steps forward and has no time to say anything. Goldie glances at him with its cold eyes. At that moment, the anchor doesn't dare to disturb the woman with fairy chi. Like the anchor, these onlookers can only watch Goldie flutter its wings and fly into the blue sky. It flashes among the clouds, and then disappears together with Goldie. The captain of the police force doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. Then he receives a call from his superior, asking them to evacuate the square immediately. There is neither a gag order nor a special praise for this incident. Except for the corroded concrete ground in the center of the square. The one who suffers the most is the policeman whose head was bitten off. He didn't care what the big shots thought, but as the captain, he secretly made up his mind to fight for as much pension as possible for his colleagues who had sacrificed themselves. As a policeman, he had to be prepared to sacrifice himself one day, but how could he feel at ease fighting for the old, weak, women, and children in his family if their future was not guaranteed? The ambulance carries the taxi driver to the ambulance. It is another patient bitten by a snake. Officer Lee's eyes are dim. They are not afraid of death, but they can't save the injured. It seems mysterious to outsiders, but in fact it is just a mini-world that can hide its whereabouts. When Lin Luoran returns home with the snake, the living room of the Lin family is full of people. Mrs. Lin's eyes are red, Mr. Lin is comforting Lin Luoran, and Luo Dong is serving fruit and making tea. There was Yen Feng, who was the first to recover despite his glib tongue. Of course, there is also Rong Dong Lin, who has a complicated look, is kind, lovely, honest, and always keeps things to himself. Zeng is the most pitiful one. Seeing Lin Luoran coming in, he hurriedly stands up and greets her, "Master." However, he can't hold the black blood in his mouth. When he spits it out, it is as worthless as ink. Mrs. Lin's eyes are all red. Except for Huang Weijian, who is sitting in the corner and trying to hide his existence, no other kid is as uncomfortable as him. Senior. Sister Lin, this young Master Zheng's situation is the same as my classmate's girlfriend. He was bitten by a snake. In the solemn room, Yen Feng was the one who dared to speak up. Zheng Tian feels that the blood in his body is surging up. He is so flustered that he keeps waving his hands. There is no child Zheng in front of Master Lin. Is she trying to harm him? Seeing how cautious Zheng Tian is, Lin Luoran would laugh out loud if she didn't have the snake in her hand. Don't be so polite. Zheng Tian, try to force the snake's venom out by yourself. I will help you. It should be fine. Compared with Cyan Little Fox, whose body is covered with black blood, Zheng Tian's venom is much less serious. However, according to Yen Feng, the snake has also bitten ordinary people. Others may not know, but Lin Luoran knows very well that the snake is probably here for revenge. Others may be caught in the crossfire. Looking at Yen Feng's eyes, Lin Luoran asks, "Do you know how many people were bitten?" "Many." Lin Luodong thinks of many patients with the same symptoms on the floor of the hospital. Many. That's not good. They are not like Zheng Tian, who is half a step into the innate realm of cultivation. Lin Luoran is an ordinary person. Even if she wants to, she doesn't have the reiki to force the venom out. The most urgent thing now is to make an elixir that can detoxify the venom. Lin Luoran picks up the red snake in her hand. As the saying goes, whoever started the trouble should untie it. This little snake has hurt so many people. If she doesn't do something for it, it won't be able to atone for its sins. While taking Zheng Tian to the basement for treatment, Lin Luoran secretly winks at Luo Dong. As the little master, you should treat your classmate well. Don't leave him out. Mrs. Lin knows that there will be a lot of people at the dinner table tonight. She stops crying and goes to work, leaving the room full of men. Many things have happened today. They probably have a lot to talk about. The major media are arguing again. People in the same industry always look down on each other. The exclusive broadcasting rights of a big star's wedding are sold at a high price, let alone the appearance of an immortal. Countless viewers in the R city and the surrounding counties and cities have witnessed the live broadcast. However, other provincial TV stations don't necessarily admit it. They say that it may be the promotion of a fantasy film. Our city TV station 2 immediately counterattacks and requests to submit the original video. The technical appraisal shows that those flying masters don't have any auxiliary equipment like wires behind them. Therefore, the whole country is shocked. The news spreads like a virus and the whole world is ignited. The country of Wuxia has always been guarded against by some big countries. Although the governments of various countries know what is going on, the people don't. Therefore, there is an army of crab on foreign networks. The more they try to cover it up, the harder it is to cover it up. The blonde and blue-eyed foreigner is curious about the blurry faces of the woman in a green dress riding on a sword, and the woman in black. Oh, it's a pity that it is not a high-definition video. They can't see their faces clearly. As for the government of Wuxia, surprisingly, it doesn't say anything this time. That's right. The videos on the internet that affect the worldview of atheism are not deleted, and no one publicly admits it. It's more like they acquiesce to these claims. The attitude of the top officials is worth pondering. Some people who know the inside story are thinking about the meaning. However, the patients who have been injured by snakes in our city have received good news. It is said that the medicine presented by the military branch can save a patient with only 10 milliliters. This credit is given to Liu Sanchun. The young officer is promoted as an exception. Of course, everyone knows that behind him is Commander Qin, who retired due to illness. After 3 years of absence from the political stage of Wuxia, the branch of Qin shows a scene of prosperity again. Some people are happy, while others are sad. Of course, Lin Luoran, a foundation-laying alchemist, who hides behind the scenes, smiles with satisfaction after seeing the news report that the medicine can cure the snake venom. +++++++ we will start to update at midnight. It's late. Let's watch it tomorrow morning. Chapter 224. Poison and antidote always go hand in hand. There is an old saying that wherever a poisonous snake appears, there must be an antidote within 7 steps. Although it is a bit exaggerated, it is not unreasonable. However, the antidote Lin Luoran is making this time comes from the snake's blood. This red snake is extremely poisonous. Unlike other snakes that secrete venom through their venom glands, its saliva, blood, skin and bones are all poisonous. Lin Luoran thinks in reverse. Why didn't such a poisonous thing poison itself? Obviously, there is something in the snake's body that can resist poison. After Lin Luoran purifies the snake's blood, the snake turns into a puddle of gold powder, not to mention coming back to life. The substance is hidden in the highly poisonous snake's blood. Lin Luoran takes out the preserved snake venom to do an experiment. She finds that it has an amazing detoxifying effect. Lin Luoran takes out half of the gold powder and mixes it with the water in her space. The special antidote becomes a magical special antidote. The incident of the red snake being injured is finally solved. For Lin Luoran, this is only one of the 3 good things that happened after she got back home. Secondly, she looked at Goldie above the bamboo house. The latter was wrapped in a big golden cocoon and looked very peaceful. Under certain circumstances, some power in Goldie's body is stimulated. No matter how shameless Goldie is, it still wants to eat the gallbladder of the little red snake. Goldie rolls on the ground in pain. Lin Luoran is startled at that time. She wants to comfort Goldie, but Goldie flaps its wings and sends her flying. While the Lins are worried, Goldie rolls on the ground for a long time. He pulls off many sharp feathers and sticks them on his body, forming a big golden cocoon. Lin Luoran feels that Goldie calms down. Maybe Goldie is growing up and is molting? Thirdly, what makes Lin Luoran the happiest is that Rong has finished translating the Shui script on the bamboo sheets and handed it to her. Lin Luoran looks at the thick piece of paper and flips quickly. She has good eyesight. With such a fast speed, she can almost finish reading every word and sentence. After thinking for a while, Lin Luoran opens her eyes and asks for Rong's opinion. How accurate is the translation of these materials? 95%. Rong answers this question honestly. It's not that he is not good at translating, but that the Shui script has been passed down from generation to generation. Over thousands of years, even history can be distorted. It's inevitable that the Shui script has been passed down by word of mouth. 95%, that should be correct. Lin Luoran closes the manuscript and there is a touch of joy in her eyes. Rong Donglin is in a dilemma. He stutters. Sister Lin, do you really believe what's written on it? There are treasures in the Dragon Palace of the Water Nationality. How can there be a dragon in the world? Rong suddenly stops. He didn't believe it before, but now the legendary cultivator is standing in front of him. Rong smiles awkwardly and doesn't say anything. Lin Luoran's eyes are very bright. She murmurs, "It's okay if it said something else, but it said that place." Where? Rong is curious. Lin Luoran smiles mysteriously. Yunming Lake. Yunming Lake? Rong has learned ancient Chinese. Yunming Lake refers to the area around Dongting Lake. He certainly knows about it. But is Sister Lin really going to Dongting Lake to hunt for treasures? Those legends were really too absurd. Pa. Lin Luoran puts a yellowed thread-bound book on the table. Rong has sharp eyes. The moment he sees the title of the book is Chronicle of the Nine Provinces, Lin Luoran has already turned to a page and asked him to read it himself. Chapter 53. I visited Dongting and Yeyang Tower to see the authentic works of Sven. The 800 miles of Dongting Lake is vast and misty. This is a wonder of creation. When the dark clouds fall, the golden carp vanishes. This paragraph is like a strange novel written by the literati in the Ming and Qing dynasties. In Rong's eyes, this kind of writing is worthless. Rong's eyes fall on the vermilion note next to the book. Is there a dragon palace under the lake? Rong feels a little thirsty. Lin Luoran smiles and nods to him. This is a travel note of a senior cultivator in the Ming dynasty. The part about the golden carp trying to jump over the high gate and transform into a dragon is very authentic. Therefore, what is recorded on the bamboo sheets of the Han Dynasty tomb may be true. A travel note of a senior cultivator? Rong feels that the old book in his hand is very hot. As an ordinary person, he shouldn't know too much about the secrets of the world of cultivation. He carefully placed the book on the table and forced out a sincere smile. Senior Sister Lin, I won't disturb you anymore. I wish you a smooth trip in advance. Lin Luoran sits on the wicker chair and takes a sip of tea. Brother Rong, you're wrong. I should wish us a smooth trip. Oh, I'll ask Professor Qi for leave for you. Rong stiffens. He turns around and squeezes out a smile that is uglier than crying. As you wish, Sister Lin. But come on, Dongting Lake is not an ordinary place. It is the dragon palace of the Shui nationality. If ordinary people are lucky enough to go there, their lives will be shortened. Rong is really worried about this. Master, do you mean that Lin Luoran is also going to the Dongting Lake? Ellie frowns in front of her desk. Xian Yuanping has promised to teach Lin the way of cultivation, but she hasn't done anything yet. Ellie has seen the video taken by her phone. Although it is just a short fight, Ellie's intuition tells her that Lin Luoran is not defeated by Xian Yuanping. This is really bad news for Ellie, who is determined to trample on Lin Luoran. Xian Yuanping is sitting on the sofa comfortably, holding the small stamp. She nods and says, she is looking for the soul wood all over the world. I happen to know that there may be some in the Dragon Palace. But this time, she is not the only one going. You are going too. She is going too? Ellie doesn't know what Xian Yuanping is thinking. Before she started cultivation, she didn't want to meet Lin Luoran at all. Lin Luoran has all the advantages of appearance, talent and cultivation. As an ordinary person, Ellie feels that she has no confidence. In fact, Ellie thinks too much. Lin Luoran has already forgotten about Ellie. How can she still make things difficult for Ellie? The so-called difference between cloud and mud means that you are standing in the same place without making any progress. At that time, your enemy will not be at the same level as you. Those grudges that you once cared about are just a past that didn't go well. Looking at Ellie's unwilling face, Xian Yuanping throws out her trump card. Don't worry. This time, she will definitely ask us for help in Dongting. You can not only vent your anger, but also I will teach you the way of cultivation as long as you come back safely. Vent her anger and the way of cultivation. These two keywords make Ellie's eyes light up. When Ellie is about to say something, there is a rhythmic knock on the heavy wooden door of the office. Come in. Seeing that an outsider is coming in, Ellie quickly regains her dignity as a chairman. The door is gently pushed open. Li Onping comes in with a pile of documents in his arms. Chairman, this is last year's report. I have sorted it out. Although Li Onping's fat appearance is nothing like his handsome appearance a few years ago, most women don't like ex-boyfriends hanging around in front of them all day long. Ellie has no feelings for him at all. Although she calls him back to work in Fortune House as Xian Yuanping asked, she just humiliates him without any expression. She doesn't want him to have any practical experience. For example, the report that Li Onping brings in at this moment has been properly kept by Ellie. Asking Li Onping to sort it out is just to make fun of him. Assistant Li, I remember that I asked you to sort out the report of the year before last year. What you brought is last year's report. Please reorganize it. Li Onping can't hide the anger in his eyes. After struggling for a while, he agrees. Ali waved her hand and asked him to go out. There was a faint smile on her lips. Lianping holds the documents in his arms. Xian Yuanping suddenly says, assistantly, do you have time to deliver a letter for me? Although it is a question, her tone is unquestionable. Lianping can even endure Ellie's humiliation. Knowing that Xian Yuanping is the most popular person in the company, how can he refuse? He takes the envelope. There is only an address on the white title page, without the name of the recipient. Lianping goes out with doubts. Xian Yuanping puts away the stamp and smiles playfully. This man is good at enduring. The anger in his eyes can fool Ellie, but not her. He is not angry, but he pretends to be angry. It is so interesting. Seeing that Ellie seems to be puzzled by Lianping's action, Xian changes the topic. I'm afraid you have to be nicer to him. What? Ellie is a little confused. I mean, you have to be nicer to Lianping. We will spend a lot of time together on this trip to Dongting Lake. If you two are like this all the time, we can forget about business. What? Lianping is also going to Dongting Lake? Are you kidding me? Ellie can't believe it. She wants to express her dissatisfaction and disagreement. However, seeing Xian Yuanping's enigmatic smile, Ellie can't say anything. Senior Xian is not a subordinate of Fortune House. She won't listen to me. Realizing this, Ellie's face darkens. Chapter 225. Lianping looks at the house number and finds that it is the same as the one on the envelope. He knocks on the door and a little head pops in. The boy, whose face was as smooth as jade, stared at the stranger warily. Who are you looking for? Lianping forces a gentle smile and says, could you please give this letter to your parents for me? Brother? Luodong holds back the urge to roll his eyes. The man in front of him has dark circles around his eyes and is fat. He looks even older than his father. Luodong holds back the urge to call him uncle. Luodong obediently takes the envelope. There is only an address but no addressee. The man doesn't look like a post office worker or a delivery man. Luodong is smart, and he won't let anyone in easily. He asks the man in front of him if there is anything else and closes the door. The door is closed by Lianping's nose. He still sees the exquisite wooden building and the green courtyard. He didn't know that there was such a house in the city. What a rich family. Lianping doesn't want to give up. Aunt Li told him that Lin Luoran bought a villa in the city. If he knew that Lin Luoran was destined to be rich, he wouldn't have left her for Ellie. It's all your fault. Lianping walks in the alley and makes sure that no one is around. He kicks a kin away and says, you two bitches, you will pay me back one day for what you owe me. However, the kin doesn't know what to do. It bounces back after hitting the wall and hits Lianping's ankle. Li grits his teeth and limps back to the company. How could a kin have that kind of elasticity? Unfortunately, it hit the Lin family's protective shield, causing Lianping to suffer a small loss. Luodong goes to Lin Luoran with the envelope in his hand. Lin Luoran is looking for a place on the map with Rong Donglin. Sister, a letter for you. Lin Luoran takes over the envelope and looks at the address printed on the computer. She is confused. Lin Luoran looks at the back of the envelope and finds nothing special. However, she doesn't open it right away. After being interrupted by Luodong, she suddenly remembers something. Lin Luoran takes out a leather envelope from under the desk and hands it to Rong. Rong raises his head. He has been bending over for a long time and his back hurts. But what does it mean? Rong looks at the 3 piles of old people inside the envelope and is confused. Your translator's salary. Rong shakes his head. I don't need so many. Lin Luoran takes the tea made by Luodong. I haven't finished yet. Why are you in such a hurry? This is not only your salary for translation, but also the advance payment for this trip to Dongting. Seeing that Rong is about to say something, Lin Luoran interrupts him. I know you are honest. Everyone is looking for a job. Friendship is one thing. You should make money with what you have learned. Don't let Professor Chi worry about you. Think about it. Am I right? Lin Luoran pauses. No one in the world can live on the wind and dew. It's not shameful to make a living with what one has learned. Rong declines the offer because he doesn't want to take advantage of the Lin family. However, it's his job to be a translator. He doesn't have to turn down the salary now. What's more, his family doesn't allow him to be a virtuous man. Seeing that Rong accepts the tea, Lin Luoran takes a sip of tea and puts forward an idea that she has been thinking about for a long time. Brother Rong, you know that our family is a little special. Luodong needs a teacher to teach him how to read and write. Can you consider becoming Luodong's tutor after you come back from Dongting? Tutor Donglin? Luodong nods. He has no objection. Seeing that the boy is full of expectation, Rong puts his hand on his forehead and says, "Let me think about it." Rong needs to weigh the pros and cons of being a part-time job, or taking it as a full-time job. Lin Luoran doesn't want to push him too hard. She leaves Rong alone and walks out of the study with Luodong. Lin's house is full of reiki. Even the spring flowers are in full bloom. Lin Luoran sits down on the swing in the backyard and opens the strange letter. Lin Luoran ponders for a while and looks at the signature of the letter, Xian Yuanping. The name of the woman in black is Xian Yuanping? Lin Luoran has just learned the name of her enemy. The problem is that they just had a fight 2 days ago. Why does she send such a letter to her? The content of the letter is simple. I know you are going to the Dongting Dragon Palace. Lin Luoran, I'm afraid we have to cooperate this time. Well, even Lin Luoran feels embarrassed by these 3 short sentences. First, she has only offered a reward for the soul wood on the BBS. She has never mentioned the Dongting Dragon Palace. The woman in black. Well, how does Xian Yuanping know about it? Rong has just finished translating the part recorded on the bamboo sheets of the Han tomb in Shui script, so the news hasn't been spread yet. As for the possibility that Rong is a mole, Lin Luoran doesn't have the time even if he wants to. Secondly, if Xian Yuanping knows something, such as whether the Dongting Dragon Palace really exists and where the entrance is, why does she want to go there? Third, even if Lin Luoran chooses not to cooperate, Xian Yuanping may make trouble secretly. The problem is that no matter what, Xian Yuanping has already planned to go to Dongting Lake. Well, let's cooperate then. Lin Luoran puts the letter aside and calls Grandpa Mu. The snake monster incident in the square is still popular at this time. Grandpa Mu inevitably nags Lin Luoran, which also shows the government's attitude. Lin Luoran has a better idea. Yes, the Buddhist cultivator I talked to you last time. Well, yes. Is there any way to arrange a spell conference through the government? Grandpa Mu says it is a small problem. Lin Luoran tells him that she will visit them in the capital when she has time. Then she hangs up the phone. Cooperation. Let's have a good cooperation. Lin Luoran clenches the letter in her hand and makes up her mind. However, Xian Yuanping may not like the way Lin Luoran chooses to cooperate. Just treat it as a surprise? Rong opens the door and agrees to stay in the Lin family to be Luodong's tutor. Luodong is so happy that he jumps up. Well, we'll leave later. In the fragrant hill villa, Grandpa Mu hangs up the phone and rubs the jade ring on his finger. He has guessed what Lin Luoran is going to do when he hears that she is going to hold a spell conference. This is a job that will offend people, but Grandpa Mu agrees without thinking. It is not only because he has a good impression of Lin Luoran, but also because he is not used to the sanctimonious behavior of some people. The world of cultivation in the state of Wuxia has been torn apart in front of the common people. Maybe this is the last chance for their generation. As for what to do in the future, Grandpa Mu has no idea. However, he believes that those who can adapt to the times the fastest will always have more opportunities than others. Spells are declining. It is such a coincidence that the girl of the Lin family appears at this time. While Grandpa Mu is still thinking, a figure comes in. It is Mu Tiannan who looks weathered. This grandson of his is in his 30s, but he is still careless. Grandpa Mu is about to teach him a lesson when he notices that Mu Tiannan is not in a good mood. You already know, don't you? No. Know what? Master Mu has a bad feeling about this. Mu Tiannan laughs. There are suspicious tears in his eyes. In recent years, I have always thought that I gave the opportunity to my 6th brother. I don't regret it at all. I always want to help the Mu family develop well. Grandpa, you can give me another chance to choose. But it's ridiculous. You should have known that I have no Taoist root. I am useless in cultivation. Why do you still give me a chance to dream? It was really ridiculous. The elegant and arrogant third young master Mu turned out to be a good-for-nothing. Mu Tianren laughs crazily. He used to think that he can get anything in the world as long as he works hard. Chapter 226. It takes only 2 hours to travel from Changsha to Yeyang by train. It is drizzling today and the weather is foggy. The lake is covered with a layer of water vapor. Although it is the 21st century, some fishing boats with motors return from the lake. Lin Luoran and Rong are standing on the bank of Dongting Lake. The gentle wind and the drizzle fall on them. Even though they are fanning themselves, their clothes are still wet. The water is rippling. The area of Dongting Lake has shrunk. Even the water is not as clear as before. Even if there are dragons here, it is hard to imagine how they can survive in such a water. Lin Luoran doesn't see the dragons, but the fishing boats start to dump today's catch by the lake. The spring fishing ban was about to begin, and the fishermen were making the best use of their remaining time to catch fish. Therefore, boats of fish were pulled back amidst the clattering sounds of motors, and then dumped by the lake for the old, weak, women and children to sort out. Of course, it is not the season to eat crabs. However, crayfish are still abundant in Dongting Lake. March and April are the season for crayfish to lay eggs. Taking advantage of the fact that the fishing ban hasn't officially begun, most of the fish dumped by the fishermen are crayfish. Crayfish are poisonous after they die and can't be eaten. The dead crayfish are piled up on the beach in March, giving off a disgusting smell. Lin Luoran likes spicy crayfish very much. However, she sighs at this way of fishing. Rong knows what Lin Luoran is sighing about. He scratches his head and says, "One of my roommates said that the crayfish in Yeyang is the cheapest. It is only 3 or 4 yuan per pound in summer. They can't raise the price, so they have to sell the crayfish." Lin Luoran smiles. She doesn't pursue the topic. Instead, she walks over with an umbrella. "Sister, do you sell fish and shrimp?" The fisherwoman works hard and waves her hand. "Not at retail. Not at retail." Lin Luoran doesn't insist. She asks every family on the bank. There are more than 10 fishermen on the bank. Finally, an old man who is smoking talks to her. The old man's skin is bronze because of years of hard work. He smells like fish. He is smoking a low-quality cigarette beside a broken boat. "Sir, is today's harvest good?" This area is not big. The old fisherman has heard Lin Luoran chasing after other people to sell fish to her. He is waiting for the young couple to buy fish. However, Lin Luoran asks him if his harvest is good. The old fisherman finally looks at the young couple. Both of them looked to be in their early 20s. The boy looked ordinary, while the girl looked very lively. "Little girl, are you really here to buy fish?" The old fisherman took a puff of his cigarette and asked indifferently. Rong has been worried. He doesn't know what's wrong with Miss Lin. They flew to Changsha and then transferred to Yeyang. They didn't have any rest on the way. However, when they arrived at Dongting Lake, Lin asked for fish for no reason. Hearing the old man's question, Rong is enlightened. Sister Lin is so smart that she won't say anything without thinking. He may as well wait for Sister Lin's decision. Lin Luoran rolls her eyes. She looks like a naive schoolgirl. "Sir, of course we are here to buy fish. Do you want to sell your fish?" The old fisherman glanced at the fish and crabs in the cabin and put out the cigarette. "I'm too embarrassed to sell these 2 fish and crabs to you. If word gets out, people will think that I'm a bully." Seeing that Lin Luoran is not disappointed or angry, the old fisherman says, "But if you don't mind this place being dirty, I can cook fish for you." Rong looks at the old fisherman's boat. It is a fishing boat and a housekeeper. He can see the daily necessities on the corner of the boat. The boat is as dark as the old fisherman's skin. In other words, this is a dirty fishing boat. Miss Lin might not be able to eat in such a place. Rong thinks that Lin is going to refuse. However, Lin Luoran relaxes her frown and says, "Then I'll be thick-skinned and stay for dinner, sir." She closes her umbrella and jumps onto the deck. Rong has no choice but to get on the boat. He is confused. The old fisherman was not bashful at all. He started a fire with a thin wooden plank in the small stove, put an iron pot on it, and mixed some water to boil it. He then picked out some fish, shrimps, and crabs from his net and swiftly cut open their stomachs at the back of the cabin. He cleaned up the fish's stomach, the crayfish's head, and the crab's thin legs, and poured them all into the already boiling pot. There is no ginger, onion, or cooking wine. Rong is not interested in the fish and shrimps. However, after the old fisherman sprinkles a pinch of salt on the fish, he smells the fragrance of the fish. The old fisherman takes out 2 porcelain bowls with the paint peeling off. He gives each of them a big bowl of fish. Here you go. Lin Luoran doesn't mind. She holds the bowl and sips the fish and shrimps. Maybe because there are no other condiments except for salt, the fish and shrimps taste bland to the people in the city who are used to eating strong food. However, after a while they can taste the special freshness of the game. It's delicious, isn't it, Brother Rong? Lin Luoran is satisfied. Rong says yes vaguely because his mouth is also full of fish. They don't seem to be pretending. The wrinkles on the old fisherman's face become smoother. Sir, thank you for treating us to fish. Thank you for your patronage. The 2 of you ate 2 bowls of fish, and he drank an extra bowl of soup. Just give me 300 yuan. The old fisherman asks for the money, ignoring Lin Luoran's words. Don't talk about feelings. It's a waste of money. Rong's heart hurts. 300 yuan for 2 bowls of fish. This is not a hospitable fisherman. This is extortion. What's wrong with me? Did I say I would treat you 2 to fish? My fish is wild. You cooked it without any additives. It's only 300 yuan. The old fisherman rolls his eyes. Rong is speechless. Rong is not good at quarreling with others. He blushes because he is not good at quarreling with others. Rong would have left in a huff if he was not afraid of making things worse. 3 red bills are pinched by a slim hand. Lin takes them out of the wallet and hands them to the old fisherman. The wrinkles on the old fisherman's face are all stretched out. He takes the 300 yuan with his scale-covered hand and says happily, "Little girl, you are so smart. Not bad." Lin Luoran gives Rong a look to calm down. She sits on a small stool and starts to chat with the old fisherman. Maybe because of the money, the old fisherman always answers Lin Luoran's questions. Lin Luoran starts to ask, "Sir, you must have been fishing on the Dongting Lake for many years, right? Little girl, you have good taste. I have been fishing on the Dongting Lake since I was 9 years old. It's been 60 years. 60 years. The state of Wuxia was founded 62 years ago. He is really old." They chat all the way. It's getting late. The old fisherman feels that the 300 yuan is worth the time. He starts to get impatient again. "I say, you're not planning to spend the night on the old man's boat, are you?" Thinking of the dark cabin, Rong feels greasy. If he really wants to sleep here, the expensive fish soup he ate this afternoon will be in vain. The rain is getting heavier. A strong wind is blowing on the lakeside. The small fishing boat is swaying. Waves splash on the cabin from time to time. It's a rare rainy day in spring. Lin Luoran's voice is a bit scattered by the wind. She still says casually, "Sir, you have seen a lot of things on the Dongting Lake. If there is a dragon palace at the bottom of the lake, where do you think it is?" Lin Luoran goes around in circles just to ask this old fisherman about the whereabouts of the dragon palace. Chapter 227. Lin Luoran seems to be joking. She asks the old fisherman where the dragon palace is. Rong is confused. However, the old fisherman puts out the cigarette in his hand and smiles. What a discerning little girl. Only I can take you there. But the price? Haha. The old fisherman's eyes narrow. He is not as indifferent as before. Rong feels that the old fisherman's smile is very obscene. However, Lin Luoran's eyes light up. They only have records on bamboo sheets. It says that there are countless treasures in the Dragon Palace. Dongting is so big, but no one knows where the Dragon Palace is. Although Xi and Yuanping said that they want to cooperate, Lin Luoran has learned not to be led by others. Even if Xi and Yuanping can take her to the Dragon Palace, she has to be prepared. In retrospect, Lin Luoran doesn't even know why she asked Liao about the Dragon Palace. Moreover, she believed him. Liao is smiling. "Since we are so familiar with each other, I can give you a discount." As long as you give me this much, I will take you to the Dragon Palace. What do you think? Liao stretches out 3 fingers and makes a gesture. 300. Rong is thrifty, but not stingy. 300 yuan for directions. If it really is the location of the Dragon Palace, it will be a good deal. 300? How can you say that? It is the Dragon King's Crystal Palace, not your backyard. 30,000, do you know? 30,000 yuan. Not a penny less. Liao's voice is particularly loud in the dim night by the lake. Several egrets fishing by the lake are startled by his voice. Rong widens his eyes and says angrily, "Why don't you rob me? This old man must be crazy. He wants to cheat Miss Lin of money. Does he want to die?" Liao's eyes bulge as much as Rong's. The simplicity of the old fisherman is gone. Rong feels that the two of them are lost rabbits. This unruly man has caught their lives and is going to extort a lot of money from them. Obviously, many people have the same opinion as Liao. The fishing boats are not far from each other, so they start to talk in a low voice. However, Liao's loud voice makes the fishing boats next door prick up their ears. Tut-tut, 30,000 yuan. How many pounds of crayfish is that? Liao is really generous. I don't know if my family can also compete for such a job. The fisherwomen who coldly refused Lin Luoran to buy fish are now very regretful. They start to shout enthusiastically. "Big sister, where are you going? If Liao wants 30,000 yuan, we can go with 3,000 yuan. That's right. It's dark here. Old Liao's hands and feet aren't as nimble as the young ones. Why don't you let Watson take you there?" "Yo, how old is your Watson? Can he even move the boat? Or is it our family's?" Money moves people's hearts. 30,000 yuan is the price of a square meter house in a place like the capital. But for these small fishermen who make a living by fishing, 3,000 yuan is enough for them to take you anywhere in Dongting. At this time, everyone wants to make some extra money. No one cares about the friendship between neighbors. Therefore, the lakeside is very lively for a while. Lin Luoran and Watson immediately become popular. Dim light comes through the old-fashioned glass lantern, which is a necessity for every fishing boat. They don't have electricity here, so the lantern is more stable and windproof. Such lights are gradually lit up. The lakeside is as lively as the new year. Lin Luoran smiles faintly and watches the fisherwomen quarreling. She wants to see how Liao will solve the problem, so she remains silent. Liao doesn't disappoint her. He sneers. She is going to the Dragon Palace. Will you go with her for 30,000 yuan? The Dragon Palace. The nearest fisherwoman shivers. She feels that the wind on the lake is really cold tonight. She shrinks back into the cabin and doesn't talk anymore. Liao's words are like throwing a silencing bomb into the crowd. The lakeside, which was festive just now, suddenly becomes silent. The atmosphere is as quiet as a graveyard. "Mr. Liao, here is 30,000 yuan. Please keep it. If it's convenient, can we set off tonight?" Seeing this, Lin Luoran rolls her eyes and takes out 3 stacks of Wuxia currency. She puts them in front of Liao. Of course, her wallet can't hold 30,000 yuan. She pretends to find the money in her backpack. In fact, she puts it in the space for an emergency. Since she had no money in Norway, she had to steal other people's clothes and follow the bus back home. Lin Luoran feels that although she is a cultivator, she is still in the secular world. If she doesn't want to solve the problem by force, sometimes Brother Kongfang's affection doesn't discriminate between regions and countries. Rong knows that the Lin family is very rich. However, as an outsider, he is reluctant to give money to Lin Luoran. Liao takes the money without saying anything and counts it twice in a row. It seems that he is afraid that some of the bills are missing. Rong can't help looking away and looking at the lake. The profiteer Liao finally shows a satisfied smile. After taking the money, he says to Lin Luoran with a smile, "I'll take you there now." Of course, Lin Luoran has no objection, and Rong Donglin has no objection either. The old paddle is moving in the water. Rong find that this boat doesn't have a motor. So is he going to take them to the Dongting Dragon Palace with the paddle? Rong feels that this is the biggest joke in the world. Why did things go wrong? Yes, Sister Lin suddenly bought fish from these fishermen, and then they ate the fish soup. Later, Sister Lin seems to be possessed, and asks about the Dragon Palace from these old fishermen. Rong feels that something is wrong, but he can't tell what it is. Liao paddles steadily with an inherent sense of rhythm. Although it is not as fast as a fishing boat with a motor, Lin Luoran can still sense that they are moving fast. Looking back at the shore, there are only dim lights looming in the mist. In the sound of the water, they are far away from the shore. Mr. Liao, why are they afraid of the Dragon Palace? Liao keeps paddling and sneers. People who make a living on the water don't worship the sky or the earth, but they have to pray for the protection of the Dragon King every day. The Crystal Palace is a place for drowned ghosts. Of course, they are afraid of it. Rong wants to ask why Liao doesn't care about it. However, he remembers that Liao is an old man who makes a living on the water, and doesn't even have an electric motor to fish. Therefore, Rong stops being stingy. The mist on the lake is getting thicker. They pass by large fishing boats from time to time. The waves tonight are a little big. The small boat with the black awning is bumping with the water. It seems that it will capsize at any time. Around midnight, the outline of an island appears in the distance. Rong feels cold and sleepy. He yawns. Where is that? Liao is anchored at the port. He is happy while anchoring. Young man, read more books when you have time. Even fishermen know that this is Mount June. Mount June? Rong is a little more awake. There is a blue sign with white characters on the port. It is the unique sign of a tourist area. The two words, Mount June, Rong can't hold back his anger when he sees it clearly. You mean the Dragon Palace is in Mount June? Liao nods. His eyes are full of appreciation for Rong's intelligence. Rong is furious. Mount June, the Mount June of Dongting Lake, is a must-visit scenic spot in Dongting, just like Yiyang Tower. Now Liao says that the Dragon Palace is in a popular scenic spot. In fact, what makes Rong even angrier is that the old fisherman charged them 30,000 yuan for a ticket to visit Mount June from nearby Yiyang Tower. What makes him even angrier is that the old fisherman charged them 30,000 yuan. He turns around angrily, only to see that Lin Luoran is staring at the island. She is confused at first and then suddenly understands. Chapter 228. At midnight, there is only the howling of owls. Lin Luoran carries Rong and flies to the shore. The morning sun is about to jump out of the lake. In a few seconds, Liao's fishing boat has disappeared in the mist. Hey, he hasn't told us where the Dragon Palace is yet. Old man, he wants to cheat them of 30,000 yuan? No way. Lin Luoran covers Rong's mouth. Rong is good at everything except his nagging. Let's go. I know where it is. Keep your voice down. We are trespassing. Lin Luoran doesn't let him go until Rong nods. There is a map at the entrance of a tourist area. It is easy to recognize the direction of a certain scenic spot. Lin Luoran ponders the map for a while and drags Rong forward. Seeing that Rong is indeed a weak scholar, Lin Luoran takes out a piece of yellow paper from her space and puts it on Rong's feet. Poor student Rong had lived for more than 20 years. And this was the first time he felt that his entire body weighed exactly 200 grams. To put it more seriously, he suddenly felt as light as a swallow. Immortal means. Rong stumbles, but he follows Lin Luoran steadily. He doesn't notice that Lin Luoran can't help smiling. Lin Luoran doesn't admit that she is taking revenge. Rong is too slow, so she scares him with the teleport figure she got from Wenguanjing. With the teleport figure on Rong's legs, he is like a tightly wound electric toy. Every step he takes is like walking on a spring bed. He can easily pass all the obstacles. Mount June is not big. It is far away from the Yiyang Tower of Dongting Lake. If you look down from mid-air, you will find that it is in the shape of a turtle. It is a beautiful island embedded in Dongting Lake. There are 36 pavilions and 48 temples. Lin Luoran and Nuiying pass by the famous tomb of the second concubine. Naturally, a Huang and Nuiying were no longer in the mortal world. Instead, there were two statues of peerless beauties enshrined in the Xiangfei Temple. They were heavily colored and their clothes were fluttering. They were surrounded by floating clouds, red cranes, tearful bamboos, lakes and mountains. The statues looked like they were about to fly into the sky. Even Lin Luoran stops for a second. The bamboos are dancing in the air. It sounds like they are crying or murmuring. It is so magical. She thought about it for a while and decided to stop worshipping the statue. Although there was no incense and candles, his heart was sincere. The two concubines would not be offended. The two of them flew past quickly. The morning sunlight shone through the gaps between the bamboo leaves and reflected in the eyes of the painted sculptures. The two clay beauties seemed to come to life, which was very magical. They disembark and go in the opposite direction. They almost cross the island and arrive at their destination on the other side of Dongting Lake. On the embankment a few feet away, the Dongting Lake is vast and misty. It is hard to imagine that an orange tree can live peacefully until now without becoming a tree monster. Lin Luoran has also explored the ground here. Even the roots of orange trees have disappeared because of the passage of time. Sister Lin, there is no orange tree here. The sky is getting bright. Mount June will soon attract a lot of tourists. If they can't find the entrance, they will probably waste the day. Lin Luoran squats down and looks at the stone fish carefully. The carvings are simple and exquisite, but they are not spiritual because of history. Lin Luoran's eyes are sharp. She can tell at a glance that this is just a later relic. It is definitely not an antique from the Tang dynasty. Needless to say, the mouth of the well is a new one. Wait, shrimp and crab soldiers come out of the water and open a way for Louis. Lin Luoran explores the end of the stone steps with her spiritual mind again. It is a stone wall covered with thick moss. Lin Luoran can't tell what kind of stone it is. Lin Luoran's spiritual mind can't go through the wall, which attracts her attention. What does it matter if there is no orange tree? Lin Luoran is not a scholar like Lu Yi. As a cultivator with the Taoist root of the water, it would be shameful if she can't even make the water-dividing spell. Lin Luoran dares to make a spell to divide the water of the Sand River, when she is still in the late stage of training qi. With her current level of cultivation, this extended well is not enough. Therefore, in the blink of an eye, Lin Luoran finishes making the water-dividing spell. The blue light is purer than the color of the sea. Lin Luoran says open in her right hand. The water in the well is separated, revealing the stone steps covered with moss. Oh, I remember now. Is this the spell that Luodong mentioned? Rong finds it interesting. He only sees the teleport figure flash and stick it to his feet. Then he becomes as light as a swallow and walks as if he is flying. This time, Rong finally sees Lin Luoran's spell. Of course, Rong doesn't know as much about cultivation as Luodong does. Luodong mistakenly calls the spell spell. So Rong doesn't know the difference. Let's go. The water in the well is divided into two sides. Lin Luoran is walking in the front, and Rong is following closely behind her. The water in the well is pouring down. Rong thinks it is a disaster. However, after a flash of blue light, Rong finds that there is a transparent cover around him and Lin Luoran. The cover is 1 meter away from the well. Lin Luoran lights up a ball of fire in her hand, illuminating the world under the well. It is the same as what she sensed with her spiritual mind. The entrance is narrow, but the deeper they go, the wider it is. Lin Luoran has to pay attention to any accidents. After all, this is the entrance to the Dragon Palace. The future is uncertain. Lin Luoran is multitasking, so she doesn't notice that Rong's face is flushed and his steps are not steady. The water cover is magical. Lin Luoran doesn't feel suffocated at all. However, the water is mottled. Rong feels that he is too close to Lin Luoran. He is a restless young man. He doesn't have any evil thoughts, but he can't resist the urge of young blood. It turns out that the water temperature is not low. Is he too close to Lin Luoran? It was only a few dozen steps, but Xiao Rong felt like he was walking with a fawn. It was just that a young man had a different thought, but when he thought of the Lin family's great family background, Xiao Rong's thoughts were automatically extinguished when he reached the end of the steps. There is a thick wall at the end of the stairs. Lin Luoran has explored the well, and there are no other creatures in it. It is less dangerous here. A golden light jumps out from her fingertips like a dancing elf. Lin Luoran uses the golden light to scrape off the moss on the stone wall. The smooth stone wall is exposed. It is so smooth that there is nothing on it. Lin Luoran are disappointed. Rong steps on the moss and falls on the wall, which makes him dizzy. However, the echo makes Lin Luoran think about something. Both of them sensed it and very tacitly knocked on the wall for a while. It was not that they triggered a trap, but they confirmed that this was a hollow wall, or that there was a wall behind the wall. It seemed that divine sense was not always reliable. In this world, there seemed to be quite a number of places that could block divine sense, and could only be discovered with one's bare hands. Lin Luoran sighs and asks Rong to step back. She exerts her strength, and the destructive power of a cultivator in the level of laying foundation is self-evident. The stone wall falls down, and the wall which excites Rong and Lin Luoran finally shows itself. There are some familiar characters on the wall. Rong murmurs to himself while touching the wall. This is the authentic Shui script. Of course he is excited. This is not a summary of the Shui script, like the bamboo sheets from the Han tomb. This is a real historical engraving. Brother Rong, let's see what it is about. Lin Luoran is wise to bring Rong here, who says that legends can't be trusted. Maybe the Shui script is really the language of the Shui nationality. Who can tell? Rong reads the content carefully. There are not many characters, so it is easy for him to recognize them. Chapter 229. The characters in the Shui script on the wall are vivid and clear. Rong, who has been educated since he was a child, can translate it at a glance. Because of this, Rong has a strange look on his face. What on earth is it? Lin Luoran comes out to urge Xiao Tianzi. What on earth is it? Rong makes up his mind. He closes his eyes and reads the words on the wall. Lin Luoran feels embarrassed. Kowtow 3 times and enter the Dongting Dragon Palace. Not to mention that such a simple way is too childish. The inscription under the big characters almost blinds Rong and Lin Luoran. Liao didn't lie to you, did he? Liao. These characters are 100% written in the Shui script, but they are newly carved. Did Liao arrange all of this? Not to mention Rong. Even Lin Luoran herself suspects that she has been fooled. Why did she trust Liao? Lin Luoran now realizes that she has no evidence. How can 3 kowtows count as kowtows? For some reason, Rong stretches out his right hand and makes a fist. He kowtows gently as if he is visiting a neighbor. The first time, the 2 people in the water dome are still the same. The second time, they stare at each other and can hear each other's breath. They are still standing in the same place. Rong is a little nervous. He looks at the third time with his eyes closed. A few seconds later, a big whirlpool appears on the stone wall. The whirlpool pulls them in with an irresistible force. Even a civilized person like Lin Luoran wants to swear in this situation. She feels dizzy. The twisting force challenges the limits of people's postures. Bang! Lin Luoran falls on the ground. The water dome has been broken. Rong also appears on the ground not far away. His physical strength is too weak, so he has fainted. Lin Luoran gets up and checks to make sure that Rong is fine. She uses her wacken to wake up Rong, and Lin Luoran starts to look around. Fish can be seen swimming on the transparent dome. The lake is isolated from the outside. It is dry and bright here. This should be the bottom of Dongting Lake. There are many ancient palace-like pavilions. This is an ancient building complex. The tallest and largest palace had a dazzling golden gate standing in front of it. There were dragons and phoenixes carved on it. It was gorgeous and majestic, indescribably noble. This time, even Lin Luoran recognizes the handwriting on the plaque, Dongting Dragon Palace. Dragons really loved shiny treasures. Even if this was only the outer hall, she could still see red corals that were taller than a person on both sides of the door. There were also huge pearls inlaid on the door. On the corals on both sides of the gate, there are 2 broadswords. Maybe the broadswords were used by the shrimp soldiers and crab generals who used to guard the gate. However, the entire hall is empty now. Except for Lin Luoran and Rong Donglin. All fishes and shrimps are isolated outside the hall. Not to mention dragons, there is not even a turtle. Lin Luoran tries the door. When her wacken hits the door, there are electric sparks and thunder. Lin Luoran's wacken is like a stone sinking into the sea. Nothing happens. Lin Luoran knows nothing about inhibition. Even if she does, she may not be able to open the door. After all, the dragon race plays an important role in the legends of Wuxia. As a cultivator in the level of laying foundation, Lin Luoran can probably defeat a shrimp soldier. There really is a Dongting Dragon Palace. This outer hall was completely golden, and one could see the situation outside from the inside. Fish swam through the algae, isolating all the lake water outside the hall. To build such a huge palace in a deep lake with high water pressure, even with modern technology, it would not be easy to do, right? Rong Donglin walks around curiously. He even puts his face on the wall. If you have time, why don't you walk around? Even a bead here can be a top treasure. Lin Luoran knows that Rong's family is poor, so she kindly reminds him. Lin Luoran has checked the hall with her spiritual mind. Except for the gate, everything else is normal. There is no fluctuation of Reiki. Rong should be safe. Rong is not a fool. The red corals are the most valuable. They are as tall as a person and they are rare treasures. The problem is that he can't take them away. The whole hall is shining. He can't take them away. He walks around and finds a big pearl on the wall is loose, so he takes it away. Lin Luoran has already taken all the corals. If she doesn't take them away, Xi and Yuanping will benefit from them. Corals of this quality can even be used to make some high-level boluses. The 2 broadswords, which may be dropped by a shrimp soldier in a hurry, belong to the 3rd grade. In this era, they should be good stuff. She takes them away decisively. It is difficult for Rong to dig out the pearls. However, Lin Luoran doesn't even need to use her flying sword. She just uses her Reiki to wrap around the pearls. Can you put them away? The pigeon egg-sized pearls are beautiful, but they are really ordinary. Lin Luoran takes a few as souvenirs and asks Rong to put the rest away. Therefore, Xiao Rong put a backpack full of pearls in a daze. The weight of the pearls on his shoulders was really a sweet burden. Lin Luoran doesn't want to waste the rest of the pearls, so she puts them into her space. When Lin Luoran stands in front of the gate, where she can only see but not enter, 3 people appear at the place where she just fell. Compared to Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran, there is a small seal floating above the heads of Xi and Yuanping, and the other 2 people. The seal shines and covers them. They appear at the transmission point leisurely. Lin Luoran is ready to cooperate with Xi and Yuanping when necessary. However, it doesn't include the surprise of seeing her ex-boyfriend and ex-rival in love at the same time, right? Ellie hasn't changed. With her sharp eyesight, Lin can even feel that Ellie's skin is getting better. Maybe this is why Ellie is here. It turns out that Ellie has been with Xi and Yuanping these years. As for Li Anping, even a good suit can't hide the fat on his face. His eyes are blue and his face is swollen. Lin Luoran takes a lot of effort to find his face from the corner of her memory. Finally, she matches him with the word ex-boyfriend. Even though she has already let it go, she still remembers the saying. I am relieved to see that you are not living a good life. Lin Luoran doesn't cultivate the Tao of ruthlessness. She is indifferent but not indifferent. She can let it go, but she is not a Mary Sue. It was Li Anping who cheated on her. No matter what the reason was, even if it has been diluted by time, it will not become a sweet memory. Therefore, when Lin Luoran sees her ex-rival in love and ex-boyfriend, she finds that she is just a little disgusted. As for the hatred, it is not so serious. Fellow cultivator Lin, I have been looking for you everywhere. It turns out that you are one step ahead of me. Xian glances at Rong and knows that he is immortal. She doesn't show any abnormality. Lin Luoran nods slightly. Yes, I am here first. However, the gate of the Dragon Palace is locked. I am afraid that our cooperation will start from here. Xian Yuanping plays with the small seal in her hand. It is said that there are countless treasures in the Dragon Palace. Shouldn't we discuss how to distribute them before we enter? Lin Luoran sneers secretly. No one knows where the dragon race has gone. Probably no one will give up all their property before moving. Lin Luoran only hopes to find the soul wood as she wishes. She doesn't have much hope for other treasures, and she doesn't look forward to it. I only want the soul wood. Xian Yuanping smiles. That's a deal. Fellow cultivator, please inject your water wacken into this small seal. The small seal in Xian Yuanping's hand looks ordinary. Is it the key to open the palace gate? As soon as Lin Luoran raises her right hand, a person falls out of the transmission point. Chapter 230. Dressed in a navy blue Taoist robe, there is still some baby fat on his face. His facial features are delicate, and he looks like a girl. Who else could it be other than young Master An? Master Lin. And greets Lin Luoran first, regardless of other people's different expressions. It seems that An is following Xian Yuanping. Lin Luoran always feels that there is a hidden thread connecting things that she didn't understand before. However, the situation is not clear yet. In a flash, some ideas come to her mind so fast that she can't catch them. Since young Master An is here, he represents Taoist Huizhu. Of course he should get a bigger share. Lin Luoran only wants the soul wood. She doesn't care about how much she can get. She makes this suggestion casually, but she is actually observing Xian Yuanping and An's expressions. Master Lin, you must be joking. An is here to find a lost relic of the Qingqing Taoist temple under the order of the superior. Please forgive me. An is very calm, as if it is natural for him to get a share. Of course, Xian Yuanping is not so natural. Lin Luoran sees that Xian is still smiling, but it is a fake smile. Huizhu is indeed making a big deal about this. Even though he is a cultivator in the later stage of laying foundation, he sends a disciple who hasn't even reached the later stage of training qi to get a share. Lin Luoran and Xian Yuanping are really disrespectful. Even if Lin Luoran doesn't care, Xian Yuanping is the most unreasonable evil cultivator, who dares to attack the Qingqing Taoist temple, and is in great danger. Lin Luoran is certainly willing to be hated by someone. Miss Xian, can we start now? The combination this time is so strange. 3 mortals, a Taoist, an evil cultivator, and a female cultivator in laying foundation. Lin Luoran always feels uneasy. She doesn't know what danger is in the Dragon Palace. She just wants to find the soul wood as soon as possible in case something bad happens. Then let's start. Xian Yuanping doesn't know what to do. She puts up with An's seemingly calm but actually arrogant action, and throws the stamp out. The stamp stops in the air 3 feet away from the Golden Gate. Lin tells Rong to stay behind her, and injects pure water wacken into the stamp as Rong is told. The stamp is like a starving person, and the water wacken is delicious food. Lin Luoran is caught off guard and her water wacken is almost drained. Fortunately, the water nebula inside her body has formed. It quickly transforms the water Reiki absorbed from the bead into wacken. This place is the bottom of Dongting Lake, the former territory of the King of the Water nationality. Even the half-abandoned Dragon Palace is full of water Reiki, which is enough for the bead to eat. The small seal emitted a blue luster, and the abundant water spiritual power almost made the spiritual power around it ripple. The blue light shrinks and shrinks. Lin Luoran is having a hard time. Seeing that Golem can't be fed enough, Lin Luoran's worry about Xian Yuanping's cooperation is lessened. There are only a few laying foundation cultivators in the state of Wuxia. Except for Xian, no one can provide such a huge amount of water wacken. She gritted her teeth and injected her water spiritual power into the small seal, but she gradually felt powerless. The small seal seemed to have sensed that she was struggling, so it stopped absorbing. Xian Yuanping suddenly grabs Ellie, who has been quiet. In Ellie's panic, Xian Yuanping cuts her wrist and draws out a mass of blood. A large mass of blood is purified into 3 drops of essence blood, which Xian Yuanping puts into the small stamp. She let go of Ellie, who had lost too much blood and was pale. She stared at the small seal. Success or failure, it all depends on this moment. After absorbing the water wacken and drinking human blood, the small seal lost all its spiritual light. However, after circling 3 times, the blue light soared and a dragon roar came out, echoing through the outer palace of dozens of acres. Could it be that there were still dragons in the Dragon Palace? Xian Yuanping is delighted. She throws a jelly to Ellie, who is on the verge of collapse. After eating it quickly, Ellie's face finally regains a trace of color. A shadow gradually takes shape in the blue light. Ordinary people like Rong, Lianping and Ellie are stunned. Even Lin Luoran, who has seen the fire phoenix, the silver fish, and the golden hawk and the cyan fox at home, is also stunned. As the totem worshipped by the state of Wuxia for thousands of years, the dragon means a lot to the people of Wuxia. They have always regarded themselves as the descendants of the dragon. The fishing boats on the Dongting Lake, which are seizing the last time before the fishing ban, find that the wind is raging. From time to time, all kinds of fish jump out of the water. Regardless of the fishing nets, they crazily gather and swim towards a direction deep in the Dongting Lake. They were only stupid creatures who didn't have any intelligence. However, they sensed the king's power in their bloodline. This is the power of inheritance hidden in the deepest part of their blood. It makes all kinds of fish rush towards the direction of the Dragon Palace, a pilgrimage. Not only the crowd, but also the fire phoenix, who was digesting the mystical fire in the space, poked its head out from the small wooden house. Its cold phoenix eyes seemed to have a nostalgic look. Through the barrier of the mist, it looked in the direction of the small seal. A silver dragon gradually takes shape in the blue light. The horns on its head are majestic, the scales on its body are shining, and the claws are cold and sharp. However, no matter how majestic it is just a shadow. Is this the remnant soul of the silver dragon? The fire phoenix sends out a special spiritual thought, but the silver dragon doesn't respond at all. It is a little disappointed. This is just a remnant soul that has lost its consciousness. How can it still be the superior dragon? There are no dragons in the world anymore, right? Similarly, there are no phoenixes. The fire phoenix is a little depressed, so it goes back into the cabin. It also drags away the silver fish, who wants to watch the fun. The space is quiet. The warm spring breeze makes the spirit herb sway gently. No one knows the sadness of the fire phoenix. Even if it is a remnant soul, it has the purest breath of a dragon. The gate of the main hall of the Dragon Palace is right there. No matter which water the silver dragon belongs to, the gate of the Dragon Palace is never closed like other dragons. The shadow rushes to the gate, and the golden gate moves slowly. Lin Luoran lowers her eyes to hide her thoughts. How can Xian Yuanping know so much about the Dragon Palace? Lin Luoran uses her Wacken as the driving force and Ellie's blood as the primer to activate the little stamp and open the gate of the Dragon Palace. Let alone the uniqueness of Ellie's bloodline. What about Lianping? Why does Xian bring him here? There is also an. Since Huizhu has the Chronicle of the 9 Provinces, he should have known about the Dragon Palace. Why didn't he come here? What does he want by coming here to join in the fun? The glorious throne was at the very center of the hall, and the entire front hall was grand and majestic. The silver dragon once again let out a clear cry, wanting to rush towards the dragon throne, but the small seal released a pulling force, pulling the unwilling silver dragon back, and sucking it back into the seal. Lin Luoran can feel that the water Wacken around the little seal has been used up. She has the water Wacken in the level of laying foundation, but it can only make the remnant soul of the silver dragon appear for a short time. This shows how powerful the remnant soul is. Come on. Xian Yuanping drags Lianping and Ellie into the hall. Seeing that they are safe, Lin Luoran and Rong enter the gate. As for Un, he follows them leisurely and even closes the golden gate slowly. The main hall is vast and boundless. The golden pillars make it magnificent. Xian Yuanping has already disappeared with the 2 people. Lin Luoran doesn't want to go with, unfortunately, and is smart enough to go to a side hall by himself. Seeing that there is no one around, Lin Luoran winks at Rong. Rong takes out a crumpled piece of paper and starts to compare it. They are not completely unprepared. This is the map of the Dragon Palace drawn by them according to the bamboo sheets unearthed from the Han tomb. No one knows who wrote these bamboo sheets, but they know a lot about the inside of the Dragon Palace. All the buildings in the outer hall are recorded. Sister, it is on the right side of the Seaview Pavilion. This way. Rong looks up from the self-drawn map and points to a direction behind the main hall. It is a remote place. The first 2 groups of people didn't notice the small door which is out of place in the main hall. The effect of the teleport figure is still there. Rong leads the way at a very fast speed. Lin Luoran follows him and disappears into the small door. In the quiet main hall, and comes out from a pillar and stares at the place where Lin Luoran and Rong disappear. Master said that we can find it if we follow Master Lin. But why do I feel that it is not a good idea? And is in a dilemma. However, after 3 years of experience, he is no longer the same and who can be satisfied with frying tofu in sesame oil. As the successor of Qingqing Taoist Temple, he has no choice but to crush a bamboo figure. A green light enveloped Xiao's entire body, including his aura, disappeared from where he stood. If Wen Guanjing sees this, he may feel very sad. Qingqing Taoist Temple is famous for its magic figures. The thunder summoning figure is the most advanced one among paper figures. It is so expensive that cultivators will bleed while using it. The bamboo figure crushed by An is more valuable than any other paper figure. The world of cultivation knows that Taoist Huizhu has some special skills, but they have never seen it. It is like the United States monopolizes certain technologies of the state of Wuxia. They never sell bamboo figures to anyone. Are you okay? Seeing that Xian Yuanping is searching in the hall, Li Onping asks Ellie in a low voice. The Dragon Palace, the small seal, the spell, the silver dragon, human blood, and Lin Luoran. All these elements are intertwined. Li Onping, who is ambitious, is in a mess. He ignores his hatred for Ellie and cares about her. After all, only he and Ellie belong to the same kind of people now. Everything else was like a superhuman in an American TV series. It was too fantastical. Ellie looks at him coldly and doesn't say anything. As for whether or not there was a trace of warmth in their hearts, no one knew. Xian Yuanping sees the interaction between the two. She doesn't say anything, but there is a smile on her face. Chapter 231. The Seaview Pavilion, as the name suggests, is probably the place where the Dragon King used to watch the tide and the water. It is built in an imposing manner. Of course, Dongting is a lake, and the Dragon King's waters are not as wide as the sea. However, no one can stop the Dragon King from naming this place as Seaview Pavilion. Thousands of years ago, this place might have been majestic and prosperous. But now there is only an empty hall in front of Lin and Rong. They didn't expect that they could get to the Seaview Pavilion so smoothly. Lin is delighted to know that the treasure house of the Dragon Palace is nearby. Sister Lin, that is the sea platform. In the hall, there is a staircase leading to the second floor. It is said that the Dragon King often goes upstairs to observe the waters. This is probably the tallest building in the Dragon Palace. These rumors are also recorded on the bamboo slips. No one knows whose mausoleum it belongs to. He seems to be as familiar with the Dongting Dragon Palace as if he is in his own backyard. Usually, Lin will go to such a place out of curiosity. But now, she just wants to know where the treasure house is. On the right side of the Seaview Pavilion, there are lush undersea plants. It looks like the garden of the Dragon Palace. The treasure house is nowhere to be seen. What could have gone wrong? Could it be that there was a mistake in the bamboo slip? However, the record is not only correct, but also helps them avoid many traps along the way. Is it possible that the treasure house is the biggest trap? Let's split up and see if we can find any clues. Lin goes out from the side door and goes to the flower bed first. Rong nods and goes upstairs to the Seaview Pavilion. There are many exotic flowers and plants in the flower bed. Apart from the unique reefs at the bottom of the sea, there are also many famous flowers on the land. It is spring, and the flowers in the flower bed are gorgeous. Because no one has taken care of the flowers for many years, the shadows of the trees and the green vines are especially beautiful in this strange underwater world. Who can imagine that there are peonies under the Dongting Lake? Lin Luoran looks around and sees a few sea radishes among the red corals. Sea radishes are spirit herbs of the water. They usually only grow in the deep sea where sharks live. Only the special secretion of these sea radishes can make them grow normally and turn into spirits. Lin Luoran doesn't know if there are sharks in Dongting Lake. Sea radishes are rare for cultivators. However, in the Dragon Palace they are just flowers and plants for viewing. This is just the waters of Dongting Lake. How rich and powerful are the dragons in the vast ocean. How could such a race disappear from Earth? Lin Luoran is in a daze. Dragons are not the only ones who have disappeared. Phoenixes, Kylans, and other mythical beasts are also gone. However, there was still a fire phoenix in the space. Could it be that it had been living in the space before the phoenix disappeared? The former owner of the bead was able to catch a phoenix and put it in the bead. Lin Luoran doesn't know how powerful he must be. At least, he must be someone she can only look up to. The leaves of the sea radishes are purple, which means that they have been growing for a long time. Lin Luoran will certainly not let go of such spirit herbs. She quickly puts several sea radishes into the space. After collecting the sea radishes, Lin Luoran finds a brown object under the sand. Lin Luoran brushes away the sand and finds that it is a broken clam shell. It is bigger than a round table. The clam has been dead for many years. There is also a black pearl in the size of a baby's fist in the sand. Obviously, it was produced in the clam. Both the quality and the size of the pearl are much better than the pearls that can be seen everywhere in the Dragon Palace. Dragons love money so much that they didn't even have time to take such a treasure with them. Obviously, they left in a hurry. What happened in those years? Lin Luoran always feels that the history of Wuxia from the primitive times to the Xia and Shang dynasties can't be justified by historians. What is missing? Lin Luoran looks at the bead on her wrist. The former owner of the bead may have just witnessed that era. Lin Luoran calms down and puts the black pearl away. Then she carefully searches this huge flower bed. This tree looks strange. There are thorns on it, and it is bald without any leaves. The Dragon King's aesthetic is really strange. Lin Luoran thinks about it and feels weird. It is not reasonable to plant such a tree in a place full of exotic flowers and plants. As soon as she reaches out her hand, a scream comes from the Sea View Pavilion. Oh no, it is Rong Donglin's voice. Is he in danger? Lin Luoran has no time to look at the strange tree. She flies up and rushes to the second floor of the Sea View Pavilion. The window creaks when Lin Luoran flies over. The second floor is surprisingly large. Some curtains that have not decayed for thousands of years are swaying in the wind. However, Rong Donglin is nowhere to be found. Lin Luoran steps to the third floor. There are 7 floors in the Sea View Pavilion. The lower floor is big and the upper floor is small. Lin Luoran quickly flies up to the 7th floor. It is empty. There is not even a table or chair in this Sea View Pavilion. However, Rong Donglin, a living person, disappeared under Lin Luoran's nose. This situation is very similar to the time when Baojia disappeared in the desert. Rong Donglin must have found something, triggered some inhibition, and was teleported away. Damn it. Lin Luoran shouldn't have taken it lightly. Even if the dragon race has abandoned the Dragon Palace, it is not a place that cultivators can easily touch. No one likes to have thieves in their house, even if it is an old house. Lin Luoran hopes that there are no other creatures in the Dragon Palace. Especially the Hamba Saintess, who thinks highly of herself and loves to possess people for no reason. There shouldn't be, right? Lin Luoran doesn't have much confidence. She is still upset. Suddenly, something flashes on the roof of the 7th floor, which attracts Lin Luoran's attention. It is how to describe it? It looks like a telescope. That's right. Lin Luoran thinks of a telescope, which should not exist in the Dragon Palace. Lin Luoran flies up and touches the mirror. However, she finds a chair under her. Well, does she want to sit on the chair and watch? Lin Luoran tries. She doesn't dare to sit comfortably. Lin Luoran looks into the lens cautiously. Hey, this mouth is full of steel teeth. Isn't it a ferocious shark? Can she see the outside through the lens? What about the surface of the lake? Lin Luoran thinks of something, and the sparkling surface of Dongting Lake appears in the lens. There is no fishing boat on the lake. It seems that fishing is prohibited today. The lens zooms out. Lin Luoran sees Mount June. She can even see the tourists in the port clearly. Maybe she can see everything around Dongting Lake with this telescope? Lin Luoran thinks of something. She can see everything from crabs nesting in the sand holes at the bottom of the lake to the continuous embankment of the lake. She tries many places and sees many big fish at the bottom of the sea and many tourists walking on the embankment of the lake. God, she probably knows how the Dragon King used to patrol the waters. No wonder this place is called Sea View Pavilion. Through this telescope, the Dragon King can know the situation of every fish and shrimp in Dongting Lake without going out. This. Lin Luoran suddenly pauses and the lens is also frozen. On a dirty boat with a black awning by the lake, Liao's seemingly honest face is so clear that even the wrinkles can be seen clearly. Liao seems to be aware that someone is peeping at him. He looks around and suddenly stares at Lin Luoran with a smile. He waves his hand as if he is greeting her. He can see here. Lin Luoran is shocked. The chair under her feet starts to move. She is actually attacked by a chair. To be precise, it is probably that the chair finds that the one peeping at the water is not the Dragon King himself, so it rebels and overturns Lin Luoran. In a hurry, Lin Luoran only sees that the pattern of the floor tile under her seems to be a little strange. She just touches the ground and then disappears from the 7th floor of Seaview Pavilion. At the same time, the chair disappears. Well, the telescope also disappears. Across the vast water, Liao on the boat with a black awning even drops the cigarette in his mouth. Alas, that girl is so easily scared. Liao is very depressed. He doesn't know who would be scared to death when they encounter such a strange thing. Old Liao, what are you talking about? The fishing ban officially begins. The fishermen start to pack up. They have houses in Yeyang, so they don't have to live on the lake during the fishing ban. They can only start fishing again in the summer. Liao puts out the cigarette butt. I say, Watson's father, can you buy my fishing boat? Watson's father is surprised. You don't fish anymore? What will you eat in the future? Liao's eyes widen. Bullshit. Don't I have children? Don't I know how to enjoy life? Ah, it turns out that Liao also has children. This is the first time I heard about it. Suddenly, the lakeside becomes lively. They have been fishing together for so many years. Although they are surprised that Liao has children, they still want to congratulate him for saying goodbye to the hard days and enjoying life. In the end, Watson's father spends 1,000 yuan to buy Liao's rotten fishing boat. This old fisherman who has been fishing for 60 years disappeared from the Dongting Lake and never showed up again. Occasionally, the neighbors scold Liao for forgetting everyone when he is enjoying life. But overall, most of them are happy for him. He has been working for 60 years. No matter what profession he is in, this is a glorious retirement. Liao is happy. When he leaves, his wrinkles are all wrinkled. He is generous this time and doesn't take away the ragged daily necessities on the boat. He waves to everyone and disappears in the stinky smell of crayfish. No one knows how happy he is. Finally, he gives away the thing he has been guarding for so many years. Everyone feels relaxed that it is quiet in the Seaview Pavilion. The hanging curtains move even though there is no wind, and shows up on the 7th floor. He seems to have been standing there for a long time. Even his feet are stiff. Isn't Master Lin testing me? Then where did she go? Shaoan frowned, diluting the childishness of his baby face. He follows Lin from a distance and hides his trace with the help of the bamboo figure. He sees Lin suddenly disappear. At first, he thinks that Lin is tricking him because she noticed that someone is following her, and waits patiently for a long time. Seeing that Lin is not there, he comes out with peace of mind. He stares at the strange tile on the ground thoughtfully. Suddenly, he puts out one foot and steps on it carefully. Only his own footsteps can be heard. He waits for a moment, but he is still standing there. Nothing happens. Chapter 232. Trap. Sure enough, the bamboo sheet is the biggest trap. Even Liao is a trap. Lin Luoran feels something is wrong when she is falling. She is falling into an abyss. Unfortunately, she can't use Wacken inside her body. Rookie Lin hated these scheming seniors to the core. They either confined his divine sense or his spiritual power. Did they dare to come up with something new? She remembers that when she was in the secret land, White Fairy helped her and taught her how to ride a sword. That's how she escaped from the abyss. But now, she can't even use a trace of Wacken. Lin Luoran has never been one to resign herself to fate. Fortunately, her clear eyes are still there, and the darkness doesn't affect her vision. She stares at the wind and opens her eyes. She finds many vines not far away from her feet. Yes, she depends on this thing to save her life. Vines as thick as a baby's arm should be able to bear the impact of her fall, right? Anyway, she has to try. Lin Luoran adjusts the direction of her fall in the air. The vines are like weaving a big net. Lin Luoran is sure that she can fall on it. Soon, she falls in the direction of the vines. Lin Luoran feels pain in her waist. A vine has strangled her waist. The huge impact is like someone hitting her waist with a big stick. Her back is burning. Ordinary people feel pain at this time, but they have to relax for a moment. However, Lin Luoran knows that she can't relax. It's like hitting a ball hard. If it is blocked by the ground, it will bounce up. After being strangled, Lin Luoran is thrown out. She bounces up. She stretches out her arms and quickly wraps them around two thin vines. Her hands are like fried dough twist. Soon gravity pulls her down. Fortunately, her hands are tangled with the vines. There is no better position to hold them. Lin Luoran finally hangs in the air as she wishes. The price is that Lin Luoran can feel the pain and numbness in her arms through her sleeves. It doesn't feel like her arms. However, at least he managed to keep his life. After flying on the vines for a long time, Lin Luoran finally gets her breath back. Even without the wacken, the quality of this body is still better than that of ordinary people. Her coordination is very good. She carefully grabs the vines while freeing her other hand. Lin Luoran swings her hand and pulls the vine to another vine which is as thick as an arm. She shakes and sits down. Holding on to her life, she first started to check on her current situation. The sacred pearl space is the most important thing. God takes pity on it. When Lin Luoran finds that her spiritual mind can still go in, she is so happy. She carries a manor with her. Cultivators in the building foundation realm also need to eat. Before looking for a way out, she finds that she is not in danger of running out of food and water. Besides, there is not only food in her space, but also weapons. Even if the bright sword is just a mortal weapon without Reiki, it is still much better than Lin Luoran. Well, she remembers that there are also scorpion venom sacs and snake venoms. She can throw them at Lin when she is unprepared. Lin feels relieved that she has something to protect herself with. The situation is good and Lin feels comfortable. However, she hears moaning under her. Seems a little familiar? Brother Rong, is that you? Since this place is an abyss, it is bottomless. Lin Luoran's voice echoes on the stone wall like ripples. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Lin Luoran's ears are buzzing. Sister Lin. It is Rong. His voice is not loud, but it is full of energy. Thanks to the echo on the stone wall, Rong calls Sister Lin several times. It is impossible for Lin not to hear it clearly. He couldn't have been injured, right? It makes sense. Lin Luoran is so strong that she still feels dizzy after falling down. Let alone Rong, who only knows how to read books. Sister. Why are you down here? Rong is weak. It seems that he is trying to bear the pain. Lin Luoran is baptized by the echoes again. She really wants to cover her ears and roll her eyes. How did I get down here? I am not looking for you. However, thanks to Rong's nagging, Lin Luoran thinks that they are not far away from each other. She looks at the long vine hanging in her hand. Lin Luoran shakes the vine and asks, "Can I get this to your place?" Rong nods. Then he says, however, it is so dark that Lin Luoran can't see his nod. Hearing his words, Lin Luoran pulls up the vines. After a long time, she finally stops when the vines are hundreds of meters long. Lin Luoran wonders what kind of place this is. Why are the vines so outstanding? Well, is this the right word to use? Lin Luoran jumps down with the vine. This time, Lin Luoran is not falling. Her body is very light. The wind is blowing in her ears. Lin Luoran feels that she is bungee jumping. In fact, Lin Luoran sees Rong with her extraordinary eyesight when the vine is only halfway down. How to put it? Lin Luoran is jealous when she sees Rong. Rong is lying on the top of the abyss. Under him, there is a crisscrossing net of vines which is even better than a hammock. Xiao Lin's face was full of tears. If she had known this earlier, she wouldn't have thrown herself so hard that her waist was bruised and her arms were wrapped like fried vines. If she had fallen down, wouldn't this net of vines, which was like a hammock hanging in the air above the cliff, catch her? Before Lin Luoran can finish the vine in her hand, she has already landed on the net. She is only a few steps away from Rong. Lin Luoran tests the net and finds that it is strong enough to catch the two of them. Lin Luoran notices that Rong is not in a good mood. What's wrong? Rong's face is covered with sweat. Miss Lin, I'm afraid that my leg is broken. Broken leg? No wonder he is lying still. Thigh or calf? Left calf. Rong says reluctantly. He feels that he is dragging Lin Luoran down. Lin Luoran smiles. It's just a calf fracture. It's not a big deal. Don't worry. Let me have a look. A fracture is not good news. However, compared with a thigh fracture, a person with a calf fracture can move freely, which is good news for them. After all, Lin Luoran's Reiki is limited and she can't use the healing spell. Lin Luoran carefully rolls up Rong's trousers. As expected, the angle of his calf is wrong. His leg is indeed broken. Lin Luoran is not an orthopedic doctor, but she has studied medicine for the sake of making elixirs. Medicine and medicine should not be separated. The space in the bead is Lin Luoran's capital. If she wants to make full use of the spirit herbs in the bead, she has to be able to identify the patient's condition. Rong's calf is swollen like a cake. The purple and red part in the middle is where the fracture is. Do you want a peach, or do you like apples or grapes? Lin Luoran takes out a big peach from the space and hands it to Rong. Looking at the big red peach, Rong swallows. He has been in pain for a long time, so he feels thirsty. Though he doesn't know how Lin Luoran hid the peach, he can't forget the taste of the fruits in Lin's house. Rong takes over the peach. Sister Lin is so considerate. She cares that he is thirsty. Rong takes a bite of the peach. It tastes better than what he had in Lin's house. However, the peach tree has just bloomed. A few days ago, he saw peaches the size of a fingernail in the backyard of Lin's house. How can he eat them? The peach is delicious. Rong is intoxicated by it. With the peach in his mouth, he feels a sharp pain in his calf. Sweating profusely, Rong stares at Lin Luoran with the peach in his mouth. All right. I've set your leg. Don't move. I'll apply medicine to your wound. Sister Lin, you are so strong. So this peach was to divert my attention. Lin Luoran finds 2 spirit herbs from the space. She squeezes out the juice and applies it to Rong's wound. Then she finds a piece of cloth and a wooden board to fix the wound. Rong's wound is cool. He only feels pain when the bones are connected. He knows that the 2 herbs Lin Luoran gave him must be extraordinary. He wants to say something, but he doesn't say anything in the end. Don't do anything strenuous these days. You should be fine. The 2 spirit herbs are used to make grade 3 boluses. Relieving swelling and removing blood stasis is only one of the effects. Lin Luoran can't refine them now, so most of them are wasted. However, she doesn't mind using them to treat Rong. There is no day or night in this place. Lin Luoran has no wakan and her spiritual mind can't reach the end. The only thing they can do is to chat. It turns out that Rong noticed the strange pattern on the floor tile and dropped it when he touched it. He couldn't control his speed. When he fell into the net of vines, he bounced on the stone and broke his leg. Rong knows that Lin Luoran's cultivation is sealed and she can't use her magic spells. He is worried about her. However, Lin Luoran's calmness gives him a lot of strength. Is he the only one who found the telescope? Lin Luoran keeps silent and thinks about the strange thing. Sister Lin, where are we? There is no record on the bamboo sheets. After talking for a while, Rong almost tells Lin about the embarrassing incident when he burned a girl's braid in elementary school. Lin Luoran laughs. Where can we be? It looks like a place used to lock criminals in the Dragon Palace. Nobody can escape once they are put in here. On the other side, Rong is so tired that he has fallen asleep. The more Lin Luoran thinks about it, the more she feels that this place is like a prison. Otherwise, how can wakan be sealed? The prison is to prevent people from escaping. How unlucky. Lin Luoran and Rong don't know how many days they have been here. When they are hungry, they eat some fruits or change their taste. Lin Luoran has salmon in her space. When she is sleepy, she goes to sleep. Lin Luoran has no wakan inside her body, so she can't meditate. She feels tired, but she can't get rid of her tiredness by cultivation. Therefore, she has to use the most ancient way, sleep. After eating, they sleep, and then they eat again. They live like pigs. However, it is inconvenient for them to take a bath. They smell rancid. One time, Rong wakes up and finds that Lin Luoran's eyes are shining in the dark. He shivers and says, Sister Lin. Brother Rong, we can't do this. Shall we try to go down today? Chapter 233. Though there is good food and drinks here, they can't lie here for the rest of their lives. Rong tries to stand up. His calf doesn't hurt anymore. However, Lin says that he can't remove the plank because his bones haven't recovered yet. Rong and Rong decide to go down. Lin Luoran is thinking about these giant vines. Lin Luoran is light, so she has no problem jumping on the rocks. She pulls off many strong vines and cuts them with the bright sword. She knots all the vines, which are hundreds of meters long. A giant rope keeps Lin busy for a long time. She doesn't know how long the vines are, but they are piled up like a hill, even higher than her and Rong. Lin pry a big rock off the end of the rope and pushes the vines down. They can't see the situation down there in the mist. Lin doesn't start to pull up until all the vines are tied down. The last vine is wet, and Lin is happy. When the rock is pulled up, it is also wet. Rong and Rong both know what is going on down there. Their giant rope is very long, and the bottom part of it is soaked in water. It proves that there is water in the abyss. There is water in the abyss. This is good news. On one hand, the water can offset the impact. On the other hand, if there is running water, they may find the exit. Lin Luoran starts to dig into the mountain. She wants to tie the vine ropes to the net, but she worries that the vines can't hold on the rocks because of the impact. She takes out the bright sword and starts to dig holes on the rocks. She wants to hollow the inside of the net and leave some rocks on the outside. She wants to put the vines through the net to fix the end. The rocks she leaves outside are very thick. It is not easy to hollow the two ends of the net. Fortunately, the bright sword is sharp. Lin has been through bone marrow cleansing and tendons cleansing, so she is very strong. However, she is dirty because of the debris. Rong has known Lin for the first time. Even in a crowded and noisy train, Lin could be at ease as if she was enjoying tea at home. Rong has never seen her so embarrassed. Well, it seems that cultivators don't agree either. Rong sighs and continues to pull the vines. Lin gives him the task of checking if the vines are tied firmly. They work for a long time. When Lin Luoran feels tired, they finally dig through the rock. Because they had taken a lot of vines, the net under their feet was not as strong as before, so they had to be careful when walking. Lin Luoran decides to have a good meal since she has to have enough physical strength before taking action. This time, she didn't just take out fruits, she also took out a small jar of spiritual wine. The wine is made by Lin herself. The wine is mild. Rong feels warm after drinking 2 cups. Lin drinks a cup of the best monkey wine made by the old monkey. She feels the magnificent Reiki rushing through her meridians. Unfortunately, her pubic region is still closed and she can't use any Reiki. The monkey wine only makes her feel better and warm. Most of the Reiki is wasted. Well, I'll go down first. I'll pull the vines when I'm free. You can come down later. Lin Luoran pats her clothes and says. Rong has no other choice. His foot is not healed yet. If there is danger down there, Lin Luoran will be a burden to him. Therefore, Rong has to let Lin Luoran go first. Senior sister Lin, be careful. Lin Luoran nods. She wraps the other end of the vine around her hand and jumps down first. Rong sees that Lin Luoran is already out of sight. He admires Lin's courage. One day, he will have to be a handsome man to stand beside Sister Lin and watch the passing years with her. Lin Luoran is not graceful at all when she is falling down. Her hair is flying in the wind. Lin Luoran looks like Mei Chaofeng. After a long time, she finally falls into the water. With a splash, the water splashes. The water is so deep and cold. Lin Luoran swallows a lot of water. When she comes to the surface, she has washed off almost all the dirty things on her body. However, she can't help shivering. The water is so cold. If she didn't drink the monkey wine before jumping down, she wouldn't know how cold it would be. Lin Luoran looks around. The pool is very deep, with a radius of only about 10 feet. She pulls the vines and swims to the shore. Rong starts to pull the vines up. Lin Luoran has already swum to the shore. The darkness can't block her vision. Lin Luoran looks around and her eyes brighten up. When Rong jumps down, water splashes everywhere. The impact hurts his injured leg. The pain and coldness make Rong almost unable to get out of the water. Suddenly, there is a fire on the shore. Lin Luoran looks at him with a smile. She throws a vine into the water and pulls Rong up. The fire dispels the coldness in Rong's body. He sees Lin Luoran magically takes out a pile of meat and seasonings. She skewers them on a stick and starts to roast the meat. Lin Luoran can't use fire wacken, so she takes the stick to the small volcano in her space to start the fire. She picks up the firewood nearby. The ground is full of dead branches. It must have been green before. However, after the dragons left, the forest has become so dilapidated. Sister Lin, what is this meat? Rong's teeth are chattering because of the cold. Venison. Lin Luoran catches it on her way to Mount Jiuhua. She doesn't expect to use it now. The aroma of the venison fills the air. After Lin Luoran sprinkles salt and chili powder on it, Rong sniffs. This is roast venison skewers. Well, as long as he follows Lin Luoran, he can eat meat. Rong grimaces because of the heat. The venison is not much, but it makes him feel refreshed. After the skewers are finished and the clothes are dry, Lin Luoran makes a torch. She gives a stick to Rong and they start to search the place. It's so cold here that they can't stay for a long time. They have to move forward. The path is neat. It doesn't seem to be natural. It must be man-made. Lin Luoran and Rong look at each other. They don't know what this place is for. The fire is dim. Lin Luoran looks at the road from time to time. There are deep cracks on the smooth stone walls. Are they scratched by some creatures? Is it a dragon? Lin Luoran and Rong speed up. Rong can't walk with his left foot. It's hilarious. However, no one can laugh at this moment. A heavy atmosphere pressed down on the two of them. They were here to search for the dragon clan's relic, not to confront the divine dragon. The dragon race must have left. Lin Luoran clenches her fists. Not just the walls, there were also cracks and holes of different sizes on the ground. Some of them did not look like scratches. If one were to imagine, it would be more like the traces of bizarre magical equipment and spells left by two parties in a fierce battle. After walking for a long time, they see an arched cave in front of them. The cave is about the height of 3 or 4 people. The iron door is locked and the copper lock is rusty. Water race stop. This is the Shui script chiseled on the entrance of the cave. The dragon pattern is looming. The identity of the person who left the message is clear. Sister, we are not the water race. It's rare for Rong to be so considerate. Lin Luoran pushes the iron door hard. To her surprise, the door doesn't open, but falls backward. Few things can stand the ravages of time, even the forbidden area of the dragon race. The door falls, raising a lot of dust. The cave has not been ventilated for many years. A rotten smell comes in. The air quality is not up to standard. Lin Luoran waits patiently for a while. When the foul air is almost gone, she and Rong go in. The fire lights up the cave. Rong finds the lamp on the wall first. Lin Luoran lights up the copper lamp with a torch. A fragrance fills the air. Rong is worried that the smell is poisonous. Lin Luoran waves her hand. It's okay. It should be the special smell of the everlasting lamp. Of course, Rong knows about the everlasting lamp. Oil will decompose and disappear with the passage of time. It is said that only the oil extracted from mermaids can last forever. It is called the everlasting lamp. There is an everlasting lamp in the mausoleum of the first emperor of the state of Wuxia. Thinking that the oil is made from a creature with a mermaid's appearance, Rong feels nauseous because of the fragrance of the oil. Lin Luoran has lit up the oil lamps on the wall one by one. The copper lamps are not big, but there is one every few steps. The whole cave is as bright as day. This place has a radius of hundreds of feet, and a height of more than 10 meters. Under the light of the oil lamps, there is no place to hide. Therefore Lin Luoran and Rong find a skeleton in the center of the cave first. Ah! Rong's eyes are wide open. Even Lin Luoran is shocked. The bones of the skeleton are as clear as jade. Under the fire, they are crystal clear. More importantly, Lin Luoran has never seen such a big skeleton before. Whale skeleton? Dinosaur fossil? No, they are not long enough. The 2 horns on the skull tell Lin Luoran and Rong what it is. However, Lin Luoran can't believe it. In fact, anyone would be stunned to see something that looked like a dragon's skeleton in front of them. That was a divine dragon. Even if it was a dead dragon, its skeleton would still give off an indescribable pressure. Chapter 234. Time may be the most powerful weapon in the world. It can change people's minds, make them forget their emotions, and mend their wounds. Compared with the vicissitudes of life, it is possible that the dragon was killed by time. Sister, are you saying that it was starved to death? Rong touches a bone carefully. The bone is as shiny as jade, which makes it look like a living thing. Lin Luoran's eyes dim. Look at it. Did it die a normal death? A chain as thick as a calf goes through the ribs of the skeleton, and is fixed to the big pillars on both sides. Although the dragon had turned into bone, the chain was still as new as it was in the beginning, shining with a cold light. The place where the chain goes through is called the scapula. Lin Luoran remembers the legend of the white snake when she was little. Yi Tong, who played the role of Su Xian, was pierced through the scapula by Lord Liang's son with an iron chain. Lin Luoran was scared by the heart-wrenching scream of Su Xian. Being pierced through the scapula is very painful. On the ground in front of the skeleton, there were some messy pits. Perhaps this was the result of the hysterical claws of the giant dragon that had been imprisoned in the past when it was trying to escape. Lin Luoran looks at the skeleton and realizes what is going on. The forbidden area of the water nationality is probably a place for serious criminals. That is why the cliff of the abyss restricts Wacken. Even the dragon can't escape. Do they really have a way to get out? Lin Luoran buries these thoughts in her heart. She doesn't say it out loud to increase the pressure on Rong. According to the contents of the bamboo slips, they come all the way to find treasures. However, they don't see the marked place of the treasure house. Instead, they fall into the prison of the Dragon Palace. Is it possible that someone deliberately leaked the information in the Dongting Dragon Palace and deliberately led the treasure hunters to come here? Lin Luoran feels that her guess is reasonable. However, the migration of the dragon nationality doesn't mean that there are no human cultivators here. By chance, they might be the first human cultivators to come here after the departure of the dragon nationality. What crime did the colossal dragon commit for the dragon clan to treat it like this? What is the plan of the person who led them here? Lin Luoran feels that she is trapped in a conspiracy and has a splitting headache. Forget it, no matter who was behind this, they probably didn't expect that by the time someone arrived here, the giant dragon of the past had already turned into a pile of bones. Since it was dead, there was no way for it to jump around anymore. Lin Luoran is afraid of being possessed, so she has been on guard. She checks the skeleton carefully and doesn't miss any detail. She doesn't find any remnant soul, but there is a wave of energy in the belly of the skeleton. Lin Luoran asks Rong to step back, and she climbs under the skeleton. A round colorful bead is lying in a black paste. Lin Luoran picks it up. Her Wacken is now sealed. As soon as the iridescent bead is in her hand, she can feel the majestic and pure power in the bead without checking it. Looking at the cool air emitting from her palm, it doesn't seem to be one of the Wacken of the 5 elements. Is it a power of a higher level than Wacken? Dragon Ball. This is a Dragon Ball. Only the Dragon Ball that contains the power of the dragon can explain the state of the earthly bead. For a moment, Lin feels that her hands are shaking. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to test it with her spiritual mind. She is afraid that something bad will happen, so she throws the bead that seems to be a Dragon Ball into the space. As soon as the iridescent bead is in the space, the fire phoenix jumps out again while Lin is studying the skeleton. It flies around the bead, identifies the authenticity of the iridescent bead, and argues with the silver fish. Lin Luoran comes in with a bone in her hand, and sees that the fire phoenix is about to peck at the iridescent bead. Lin Luoran's eyes turn red because of anger. She is so confused that she doesn't care about her image anymore. Lin rushes at the phoenix. The silver fish is startled and jumps into the air. The fire phoenix flaps its wings and flies up. It finally swallows the iridescent bead. Lin Luoran holds the phoenix's upper body, and is carried into the air by the fire phoenix. The sky in the space is not high. Lin Luoran holds the feet of the fire phoenix tightly. From time to time, the phoenix flies over the branches of the apple tree or the thorns of the chestnut tree. The fire phoenix is furious, but Lin Luoran doesn't let go. The fire phoenix is so angry that it yells, "Stingy! This dragon tribe is useless to you human cultivators. You don't accept the precious dragon marrow, so why are you hugging me?" Her voice was crisp and clear, as if she had bitten into a fragrant cashew that had just come out of the pot. As it is talking, it lands under the apple tree, waiting for a chance to escape into the cabin. Lin Luoran is stunned. Did the fire phoenix speak? What is the dragon marrow? The marrow of a giant dragon? I don't care. You ate my strange fire and stole my iridescent bead. You don't look like a king at all. Spit it out. Spit it out. Lin Luoran decides to throw caution to the wind. She shakes the neck of the fire phoenix hard, as if she will not stop until it spits out the iridescent bead. The fire phoenix is dizzy. When it is about to get angry, the silverfish comes from the air, wagging its tail. The silverfish says softly, "Why don't you give the bead back to her?" It is a soft voice of a little girl. The silverfish also speaks. Oh my God, what day is it today? Lin Luoran has no time to be surprised. She nods hard. Seeing the arrogant fire phoenix grabbing the iridescent bead, she knows how precious the iridescent bead is. Lin Luoran can't just give it away. You are so hateful. You owe me for saving your life. What's wrong with giving me an iridescent bead? Seeing that the silverfish is also on Lin Luoran's side, the fire phoenix has to be patient and tries to reason with Lin Luoran. Saving my life? Is it referring to the time when the woman in white was possessed in the secret land? Lin Luoran remembers quickly, but she still shakes her head like a rattle. My life is not as valuable as the iridescent bead. That's a different matter. Give me back the iridescent bead first, and then I'll pay you back. The fire phoenix finally gets to know how thick-skinned human cultivators are. It is so angry that it is about to leave Lin Luoran and fly into the house. However, it sees the silverfish looking at it with an obedient face. The fire phoenix calms down. Okay, let's make a deal. The iridescent bead belongs to me, and I'll give you some compensation. Lin Luoran stops herself from curling up her mouth and nods reluctantly. Take me to the cabin. Lin Luoran's first condition makes the fire phoenix so angry that it wants to slap her away. No, it's not up to me whether you can enter the cabin or not. It's not the right time. You have to wait patiently. Is this not okay? Lin Luoran rolls her eyes. Cultivation method, the origin of the bead, the way to enter the cabin. Pick one of these conditions. The fire phoenix sneers. Even if I give you the cultivation method of my royal family, you will still explode and die. Little cultivator, don't be too greedy. Lin Luoran says many conditions, but they are all rejected by the fire phoenix. Lin Luoran is discouraged. Thinking that Rong Donglin is still outside, she lets go of the fire phoenix. Seeing that Lin Luoran doesn't ask for more conditions, the fire phoenix drags the silverfish away. On the way back, the silverfish stares at it with kindness. Thinking that it can't go back on its words in front of the silverfish, the fire phoenix turns around and says, I'm not a stingy person. If you have any questions in the future, I'll tell you everything I can. What do you think? What else can she do? This is the most important help for Lin Luoran now. She smiles happily. Soulwood, I'm looking for soulwood. Such a small thing. The fire phoenix rolls its eyes and replies lazily, I see. Anything else? What is the dragon marrow? Also, why can't we use whack in here? You are friends with the dragon race, right? Do you know how to get out of here? Lin Luoran asks a lot of questions. She speaks so fast that the silverfish is stunned and the fire phoenix's brain goes blank. What kind of person is she? Yen percent and. After a few days together, Rong is used to Lin Luoran's sudden disappearance and sudden reappearance. In his eyes, these are all the tricks of an immortal. Therefore, he never asks where Lin Luoran goes. This time, he waits for half an hour before Lin Luoran shows up again. Holding the bone in his hand, Rong is grinning from ear to ear. First, he pushes the huge dragon bone aside. Then, he uses his sword to scrape the black paste on the ground and puts it in a jade box. Sister, you really don't mind the dirt. I'm impressed. Lin Luoran is working hard. She answers without raising her head. Dirt? Do you know what this is? Dragon marrow. This is probably the last dragon marrow on the earth. Why should I mind it? It's good for making elixirs. According to the fire phoenix, even in the era when there were many powerful cultivators, Few people dared to use dragon marrow to make elixirs. Lin Luoran is so lucky to have found it. Dragon marrow? Rong doesn't know what the black thing can do. He guesses that it may be useful to cultivators like him. He strolls around and sees Sister Lin, who used to be smiling calmly in his heart. She is thinking about something and murmuring to herself, "There should be dragon tendons. Where is the dragon tendons?" Rong almost faints. Sister Lin doesn't even want to let go of the dragon tendons. Seeing that the ground is clean, Rong laughs and says, "Sister, why don't you take this skeleton too? It's not going to be a waste." The skeleton is over 100 meters long and huge. Rong thinks that it's impossible to take it away. He is just joking with Lin Luoran. However, Lin Luoran gives him a "you have a bright future" look. "Brother Rong, that's a great idea." Fire Phoenix said that every part of a dragon's body is a treasure. Lin Luoran doesn't want to let go of this huge skeleton. Since she can't find the dragon tendons, she decides to take the skeleton first. Seeing that Lin Luoran is going to pick up the scattered bones, Rong almost trips over himself. Is this really Sister Lin? She is Lin the Exploiter. Chapter 235. Because the dragon's flesh is rotten, the iron chain is tied to the dragon's shoulder blade. There is no gap at all. Lin's hands are numb when the bright sword hits the chain. However, the iron chain is not affected at all. Lin is afraid that the bright sword will be chipped if she keeps cutting it, so she gives up on the rib. She removes the dragon bones from the joints and puts them into the space in batches. If the space were not so big, Lin would not have enough space to store the dragon bones. Even so, the bones are piled higher than the tallest apple tree in the space. The Fire Phoenix and the Silverfish have talked to Lin, so they can't pretend to be indifferent anymore. They occupy the swing under the apple tree and point at the dragon bones. Lin has no time to talk to them. She turns around and leaves the space. There is still a rib on the iron ring, but the Fire Phoenix wants a complete set of dragon bones. Lin doesn't know what it can be used for, but she has a feeling that it will be worthwhile to give some benefits to the Fire Phoenix, which has lived for many years. How can I get it off? Lin holds the rib, which is as thick as an adult's arm, and thinks. Rong doesn't want to look at her at all. Lin has ruined her image today. She doesn't even let go of the last bone, which makes him feel stressed. Rong's foot is still injured, and the bag of pearls on his back is very heavy. He hops to the pillar to have a rest. "Sister, why don't you cut off the pillar and take it away with the chain?" Take it away with the chain? Lin's heart beats fast when she thinks about something that can tie up the dragon. Isn't this the perfect material for making weapons? Calm down, calm down. Lin's Taoist heart can't be so impetuous. She breathes heavily. However, Rong's suggestion gives her a new idea. If she can't remove the dragon bones, why not take the chain with her? Lin starts to look at the pillar. It looks like an ordinary stone, but there are some auspicious clouds carved on it. The dragon's shadow looms in the clouds. It is a typical dragon palace. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. When the bright sword slashed down, there wasn't even a sound. The stone pillar wasn't damaged, and the bright sword didn't chip either. It was as if this powerful strike had landed on cotton. No matter what plan he had, it was all for naught. What about digging down? A dragon's claws could dig holes in the ground, so it should be easier than a pillar, right? Lin Luoran starts to dig under Rong's watchful eyes. Soon, she realizes that she has underestimated the dragon. As a dragon whose power is sealed and imprisoned in the dungeon, it can obviously do more than Lin Luoran, a cultivator in the level of laying foundation. The dragon's claws can dig deep holes. If it were Lin Luoran, she would only get sweating after working for half a day. She is about to go back to the space to ask Fire Phoenix for advice when her spiritual mind senses the existence of other people. Lin Luoran's spiritual mind detects that someone has fallen into the water at the place where she was just now. The latter had also discovered this path, and was quickly running towards them. The middle period of training chi has passed, and the later period of training chi is not enough, and has also come down. Lin Luoran has just put away her sword when it is running halfway. 3 more people fall into the pool. Needless to say, this time it must be Xian Yuanping and the other 2. Lin Luoran looks at the chain under her feet and wants to cry. These people just don't want to give her more time. They are all rushing to come to the prison, perhaps with the help of the magic figure, and comes quickly. Soon he appears in the brightly lit prison. His clothes and pants are dripping with water all the way. He is shivering because of the cold spring. Seeing the light, he looks around in surprise. Soon he finds Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran. His face is full of joy. Master Lin, you are here. That's great. An's teeth are chattering. He looks harmless, but Lin Luoran is not as happy as him. She has confiscated the chain. At this time, An leads Xian Yuanping here. Lin Luoran has nothing to be happy about. What's wrong with you? Lin Luoran asks, even though she knows the answer. And must have been cornered by Xian Yuanping and fell into the abyss. They may have found something valuable outside, and they both want to fight for it. And puts a paper figure on his body. Smoke starts to come out from the soles of his feet. The water vapor on his body evaporates quickly and his clothes are soon dried. This is the first time that Lin Luoran really envies Qingqing Taoist Temple. Although the figure is flawed in fighting, it is an inherent reserve of attack. In this place where everyone's power is confined, the figure is really advantageous. And finally stops chattering. Master Lin, it's so strange here. I can't use the Reiki in my body. Oh no, the witch is here. Lin Luoran smiles. So what if Xian Yuanping is here? Lin Luoran doesn't believe that this place only restricts cultivators. Is it a paradise for evil cultivators? Lin Luoran is about to talk to An. The latter looks frightened. Master Lin, the witch is prepared. I'm afraid she won't let us go. Let's hide for a while. Haha, little Taoist, the Dragon Palace is not big. Where can you hide? Xian Yuanping finally shows up at the entrance of the cave, followed by Eli and Li Anping, who are all wet and lifeless. Unlike An, only the hem of Xian's dress is a little wet. It seems that Eli and Li Anping are the scapegoats. This woman doesn't look embarrassed in the cold pond. Xian Yuanping takes a look at Lin Luoran, and then her eyes fall on the chain on the ground. The rib bone that Lin Luoran can't get is stuck on the chain. Xian's eyelids twitch. You took the dragon bone. Not only the dragon bone, but also the dragon marrow, the dragon ball. Thinking that all these things are in Lin Luoran's hands, Xian can't keep her smile. She looks terrible, and has suffered a lot in Xian's hands. He looks at her warily and steps back to Lin Luoran. Give me the dragon bone. Didn't we agree at the beginning that you only want the soul wood, and I can choose the rest? Xian strokes her hair behind her ear. Her expression changes so fast that it is like the change of face in Sichuan opera. As soon as Xian shows up, Lin Luoran notices that the dragon bone is gone. Her expression changes immediately. Even the dragon marrow on the ground has been scraped clean. Judging from the bone on the chain, Lin Luoran knows that there should be a set of dragon bones here. Xian's knowledge of the Dragon Palace makes Lin Luoran feel a little uneasy. Did Xian Yuanping know that there used to be a dragon imprisoned here? Did she come here for the dragon bones? What about An? Is he also here for this place? Lin Luoran stands still. Suddenly, she feels that it is a very unwise choice to let An stand behind her. Watch out! Rong shouts. Lin Luoran feels a chill down her spine. She quickly steps aside, but her left foot is already in a strange condition. Lin Luoran leans on Rong's side. She glances at the figure on her left foot, and finds that it is glowing. Lin Luoran's left foot is so stiff that she can't move. Master Lin, this is the petrification figure. As long as you don't move, it will do no harm to your body. And retracts his hand and explains anxiously. It seems that he is forced to do this. The embarrassment on his face can't suppress the coldness in Lin Luoran's heart. Haha, what a petrification figure. Even though Lin Luoran doesn't know An very well, she feels that she has been stabbed in the back and betrayed. 3 or 4 years ago, the superior of Qingqing Taoist Temple was entrusted by Master Mu and Master Gua to protect the Lin family. Young Taoist and was very nice to Luodong, and often discussed cooking with Mrs. Lin. Lin Luoran still remembers that when this young Taoist came to deliver a book to her, he looked childish and shy and asked her if she was Sister Lin. Time flies. Now An calls her Master Lin, with more and more respect. However, he throws a petrification figure to her without hesitation. People are cunning. Well, Lin Luoran still remembers that 3 years ago, when she saw him being caught by Xian Yuanping, she couldn't bear to join the fight. Huizhu could have defeated Xian Yuanping, but he deliberately let her win. In the end, Lin Luoran was taken to the blood pool in the underground palace and suffered the torture. Good, very good. Lin Luoran has been in trouble twice in the hands of the Qingqing Taoist Temple. I'm not qualified to be your master, Lin. Masterin, what did Xian Yuanping promise you? Why did you do this? According to Lin Luoran's character, she won't talk to An anymore after being stabbed in the back. At this time, both she and Rong can't move, so they can only stall for time. Of course, and can sense the disdain in Lin Luoran's words. He is stunned. It seems that somewhere in his heart becomes cold. After struggling for a few seconds, and seems to break out of the cocoon and become a butterfly. The shyness and childishness of young people can no longer be seen on his face. He says lightly, "Dragon marrow." If the old Taoist Huizhu saw him like this, he would feel comforted, and is already a qualified successor. The useless kindness is abandoned by An in Lin Luoran's disdain. He moves to stand beside Xian Yuanping. One of them is the descendant of a famous family in the world of cultivation, and the other is a female evil cultivator who captures people to make medicine. Lin Luoran feels all kinds of irony. They know so much about the dragon bone and dragon marrow. If Lin Luoran can't see the weirdness in it, she will have lived in vain all these years. Xian Yuanping smiles happily. Lin Luoran, people say that you are good to people, but so what? When this little Taoist threw the petrification talisman, he didn't hesitate at all. You righteous cultivators are despicable and despicable. You are much more ruthless than us devil cultivators. You might as well abandon the righteous path and join the devil path with me. Join the evil path with you? I don't like the dirty blood pool. Only a fly like you can live there. Lin Luoran says slowly. In fact, her left foot is completely stiff. The feeling of petrification is spreading from her left foot to the rest of her body. Master Lin, I only need a little bit of dragon marrow. As long as you are willing to give it to me, I will remove the figure for you right away. And interrupts. Only a little bit? Lin Luoran curls her lips. You must be kidding. Xian Yuanping covers her mouth and laughs. Little Taoist, don't be so naive. Do you think Lin Luoran will let you go after you remove the figure for her? Chapter 236. Will she let him go? Lin Luoran is not a Mary Sue. If she could move now, she would definitely kill him with her sword. No matter what the reason is, she can't hide his actions. Lin Luoran is not a stingy person. If Qingqing Taoist Temple can give her some dragon marrow, Lin Luoran will certainly exchange it. If they went on an adventure together, she would probably be willing to share some of the dragon marrow with Shaoan. However, she didn't expect that An would cooperate with Xian Yuanping and use such a dirty trick. Xian Yuanping sees that both of them look strange. She won't give them time to leave her alone and say, "It's useless to say more." It's useless to say more. Lin Luoran, do you want the dragon bone and marrow or your life? Master Lin, I really just want some dragon marrow. Their noisy voices ring in Lin Luoran's ears like two annoying flies. Lin Luoran feels stiff all the way to her waist. She is stalling for time, but they are also waiting for the petrification figure to work, so that they can get what she has without any effort. Rong Donglin holds his stick and looks at her worriedly. Lin Luoran can see that he is telling her to take off the figure. What a naive kid. If the figure of Qingqing Taoist Temple could be taken off easily, they would have died hundreds of times when they fought against their enemies. Now she has to take a gamble. Lin Luoran is thinking, but her face is trembling. It seems that she can't control her facial expression because of the spreading of the petrifying figure, and the feeling of being stiff and powerless. Oh, we can't move our cultivator of laying foundation. Ellie, go and search her. Don't let go of anything. Xian Yuanping is also afraid that this is a trap. Although Wacken is restricted here, a cultivator of the level of laying foundation must have some tricks up her sleeve. Being searched by her former rival in love, Xian Yuanping guesses that Lin Luoran must be furious. Xian Yuanping glances at An and is holding several pieces of figure paper in his hand, ready to deal with Lin Luoran's counterattack. Ellie is soaked, but she can't hide her excitement. Ellie still remembers the slap that Lin Luoran gave her in Rueli. Humiliating Lin Luoran has long been one of the most important goals in Ellie's life. Now she is going to achieve it in front of everyone. How can she not be ecstatic? She walks to Lin Luoran and doesn't miss the fear in Lin Luoran's eyes. AI raises her right hand. Her first action is not to search Lin Luoran. Instead, she slaps Lin Luoran in the face. Senior Sister Lin. Junior Master Lin. It's Rong and An who are talking. Even Li Onping looks a bit nervous. As elegant as Lin Luoran is, it is a great humiliation for her to be searched in public. Except for Xian Yuanping, no one has expected that Ellie would do this. Lin Luoran's cheeks turn red. Anger rises from the bottom of her feet. She knows that Ellie is taking revenge for the slap she gave her in Rueli. Lin Luoran doesn't regret slapping Ellie at all. What she is angry about is that she didn't get rid of Ellie completely. At that time his heart was still too soft, wasn't it? No, I won't be soft-hearted in the future. I'm sorry. I failed. You won't blame me, right? Ellie is still wet, but her eyes are brighter than ever. The glory at this moment and the satisfaction of revenge make her feel that it is totally worth it to bow down to Xian Yuanping. Who would believe that she made a mistake? Rong can't accept it. He pushes Ellie a few steps back with the wooden stick in his hand and says, "Don't go too far." Xian Yuanping smiles and gives Li Onping a look. Li Onping steps forward and pulls Rong away. Lin Luoran feels ashamed and angry, but she can't move, and still has a lot of figure papers. Xian Yuanping brought two ordinary people who used to be involved with Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran has to get rid of them all at once. She can only bear it. Ellie starts to search Lin Luoran proudly. Lin Luoran is wearing casual clothes without pockets. In fact, she doesn't have a storage bag or anything like that. Ellie is obviously teasing Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran's hair is tied up in a ponytail, so she can't hide anything. What? She doesn't have anything with her? Ellie looks at Lin Luoran carefully. Her eyes fall on an inconspicuous bead on Lin Luoran's right hand, which looks familiar to her. What is this? The more Ellie looks at the bead, the more familiar it is. The cuffs of Lin Luoran's clothes are too tight. Ellie tore half of Lin Luoran's sleeves, revealing her white wrist. Lin Luoran doesn't resist at all. Does the little Taoist's petrification figure really control her? Xian Yuanping narrows her eyes when she sees the silver thread piercing the beads. Is it a space magic weapon? In the world of cultivation where only storage bags exist, people say that Lin Luoran has a master in the level of bearing essence if she has a more advanced storage magic weapon. So what? Huizhu is also in the later stage of laying foundation. As long as she gets the dragon bone and the dragon ball, a cultivator in the level of bearing essence will be nothing to be afraid of. Besides, except for the dragon palace, no one knows that she killed Lin Luoran. Ellie, take off her bead. Yes. The silver thread is so thin that Ellie breaks it from the middle with a little effort. No. You can't touch it. Lin Luoran is anxious. She opens her mouth but can't say a word. The petrification figure seems to have spread to her head. The bead is warm and falls on Ellie's palm with Lin Luoran's body temperature. Looking at Lin Luoran's expression, everyone knows that they have found the right thing. Ellie still feels that the bead looks familiar, but the bead has no special features, so she can't remember. She steps forward and hands the bead to Xian Yuanping respectfully. Xian Yuanping still has a lingering fear of the Reiki bomb 3 years ago, so she holds the bead carefully. After making sure that the bead is not dangerous, she looks at it carefully. Xian Yuanping's spiritual mind is like a stone sinking into the sea. There is no reaction at all. Interesting. Xian Yuanping throws the bead up. Young Taoistan, why don't you do it? Do it. An's expression changes. We agreed that we would only take the things. Xian Yuanping laughs as if she has heard a funny joke. Only take the things? Do you think she will let you go after she goes out? You can die, but you will make a big enemy of Qingqing Taoist Temple. Little Taoist, the loss outweighs the gain. Shaoan felt like he had been hit in the head with a stick. He finally knew what he had been avoiding all this time. It turns out that betrayal is a road of no return. If you choose to betray someone, it will be a life and death fight. And holds a thunder-summoning figure in his hand. Now Lin Luoran can't move because of the petrification figure. Even if the purple thunder is as thick as a little finger, she will. And feels his heart is pounding. He grew up in Qingqing Taoist Temple, and has been with everything in the mountain. He has never killed anyone. Kill her, and everything will be solved. Xian Yuanping's voice is charming, adding a touch of glamour to the cave which never sees the sun all year round. Kill her, kill her. The voice is faint and echoes in Anne's ears. His eyes are a little confused. There is only one voice left in the world. Kill her. A paper figure slips down from Anne's sleeve, shining with light. Thunder summoning figure. Chapter 237. Kill her. And struggles fiercely in his heart. He says he doesn't want to, but his hands seem to be out of his control. He throws out the thunder summoning figure. The figure floats over. Lin Luoran's face turns pale. The first time she fought with Wen Guanjing in the back alley of the Blue Bird Club, she has seen the power of the figure. Can it be the kind of figure that can summon thunder and lightning? She saw with her own eyes that the pole of the street lamp was turned into ashes. Without any weapon or magic weapon to protect herself, she can't resist the attack with her body. As soon as An throws out the figure, he comes to his senses. Why did he listen to Xian Yuanping's order just now? Removing figure. Yes, removing the figure. I can still remove the figure. And raises his right hand slightly. Xian Yuanping stares at him with a faint smile. She says a few words with her mouth moving. She doesn't say anything, but An looks defeated. He tries several times with his right hand, and then puts it down disappointedly, and acquiesces that he wants to kill her. In an instant, Lin Luoran realizes the fact. What should she do now? Miss Lin. Rong's intuition tells him that this light figure is more powerful than the one that made him move fast. However, Lin Luoran can't move away at all. Rong tries to push her away, but Lianping holds him tightly. Does he want her to die? Lianping certainly knows that Xian Yuanping doesn't want to let Lin Luoran go. He hesitates for 2 or 3 seconds whether he wants Lin Luoran to die or not. He can't help recalling the time when they were together. However, things have changed. All he can remember is her emotionless eyes. Thinking of what happened in the past few years, Lianping holds Rong tightly and stops him from saving Lin Luoran. At this moment, he has actually given up on the woman he used to love. Or to put it even earlier, as early as 4 years ago, when he chose Ailey, who could help him rise to the top in a single bound, he had already been abandoned by her. She doesn't belong to me, and I won't let anyone else have her. Lianping comforts himself like this. However, when he sees the figure on Lin Luoran's face, he is stunned and loosens his hands. Lin Luoran's emotionless eyes were as bright as stars in the night sky when they were young. Being let go, Rong rushes to Lin Luoran. A few steps, just a few steps, and he would be able to push senior sister Lin away and save her. Just like that night in the bar, Lin Luoran kicked the door open at the critical moment when the foppish playboy forced him to kowtow and admit his guilt. However, how can a mortal's speed be faster than the famous Qingqing Taoist master in the world of cultivation? The figure seems to be moving slowly, but it is already close to Lin's face. Rong is only a few steps away from Lin Luoran. He can only watch the figure ignite. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning as thick as a thumb strikes Lin Luoran. How could a person still be alive after being struck by lightning? Rong doesn't believe that a man with immortal skills can die so easily. He stares at the ground with his eyes wide open. Everyone's gazes met. The smoke lingered for a while before it was finally blown away by the convection wind in the cave. There is a small pit on the ground, and a small pile of black ash is lying there quietly. Has Lin Luoran's body turned into black ash? The lightning guiding talisman is so powerful. Xian Yuanping knows a lot about the fighting ability of the Qingqing Taoist master. She is suspicious when she sees only a pit on the ground. An's lips are wriggling and his face is pale. Hearing Xian's question, he glares at her fiercely. His eyes are bloodshot. If Lin Luoran didn't expose the shocking secret to him, he would never agree to cooperate with her. Master Lin is dead. An's head turns pale. He can't believe that Master Lin, the most talented person in the world of cultivation in recent years, was killed by him. He has just passed the middle stage of training Qi, but hasn't reached the late stage yet. Why didn't Master Lin escape? That's right, Junior Master Lin must not be on guard against him at all. An looks at his right hand in disbelief. This is the first time that he has killed someone, and the person he killed is one of his acquaintances. Xian Yuanping is smiling. She gently touches her right hand. This hand has become more and more harmonious with her body, but it is still not her hand. It belonged to an unknown young woman, who would always break out in a cold sweat from the pain on rainy days. The secret spell of diabolism is used to connect other people's limbs. There are always serious sequelae during the running-in period. This is all Lin's fault. Xian Yuanping laughs. Looking at the pile of black ashes, she laughs so hard that she almost cries. She not only avenges her broken hand, but also kills a genius in the world of cultivation. No one understood how much he hated these so-called cultivation geniuses. So what? They will die in her hands one by one. Since the Tao of nature is in chaos, she will be the god of this world. She will make diabolism right and create rules that belong to Xian Yuanping. Lin Luoran is dead. Ellie feels that she has vented her anger for years. Her clothes are wet. Although she looks embarrassed, she is full of glory. So what if she is good at stone gambling? Now she is buried in a cold cave under the abyss. There is no jade here. In the long future, it will be dark and cold. There won't even be a living mouse. She was pretty? Haha, it's ridiculous. In the end, she is just a pile of black ashes. She doesn't even have a whole body. So many people really love her? How glorious you were that day. The young master of Luz supported you. In the pile of raw jade stones, you bid for them. The young master of Luz looked at you with a smile. He didn't object at all. On the way to stone gambling, a playboy gave you 100 million yuan as a guarantee. You were surrounded by many people, but you still died at the bottom of Dongting Lake. Where are those admirers today? Ellie's joy is sincere. Compared with Xian Yuanping, she even avenges Lin Luoran's slap before she dies. But when she turned to look at Li Anping, Allie's joy almost faded by half. Yes, she is the proud lady of Fortune House. She will never admit that the most important reason why she hates Lin Luoran so much is that she envies her. What is she envies? She envies someone who once loved her sincerely. Even though they became enemies, that bastard was willing to be sad for her. She is dead. Li Anping's mind is blank. His eyes are a little out of focus. He didn't just notice her in college. Earlier they were in the same high school, but in different classes. They went up and down floors. She was a girl as elegant as an orchid. Like him, she came from the poorly family village. Her poor life couldn't hide her beauty that was slowly blooming. He used to secretly watch her on the balcony, just because she passed by him occasionally between classes. She was holding a book, holding a lunchbox, wearing a school uniform, and pushing her bicycle through the dappled shadows of the trees. Qin Baojia from the capital took his hand. Her eyes were sharp. She warned him calmly. It seemed that she wanted to say that he was a toad who wanted to eat swan meat. This hazy secret love died tragically. Poverty is the origin that Li Anping can't change. Can't poor people covet beautiful things? Li Anping seems to be stung. He spends all his extra energy on reading. In July he took the college entrance examination. Who would have thought that he really went to the university she went to? There is no Qin Baojia in the university. Li Anping's heart is moved again. She is attentive, considerate, and has the advantage of coming from the same place. Finally, he can stand by her side. They are like all the lovers in college. They can buy a popsicle and eat it together. They can laugh on the road regardless of other people's eyes. Until that year when his family had an accident, he looked at her expectantly under his mother's aggression. Sure enough, she gave him the opportunity to continue to go to school. Li Anping doesn't know how broad the world is until he leaves home. However, at that time, Lin Luoran was at the age of shyness and vigor. It was the most beautiful time for her. He was afraid and felt inferior. He didn't have the confidence to stay with her forever. If she dropped out of school, would she belong to him forever? Li Anping is grateful for her choice and secretly feels lucky. This kind of love has lasted for a long time. When did it disappear? Did it disappear when she became haggard and ordinary? Or when she was studying in the same class as him? Because of his background, he was at a loss and had to rely on Qin Baojia, who looked down on him, to introduce jobs to him? Did he become more and more eager for success after seeing the bright life of his colleagues? Poor people can't covet beautiful things. He wants to succeed. As long as he marries Miss Ai of Fortune House, Li Anping is confused. After so many years, he finally remembers why he wanted to succeed and get rid of poverty. At the beginning, he was a poor student in high school. He studied hard to get close to the girl. At the peak of his life, he almost became the son-in-law of Fortune House, a jewelry giant in West Shu. What's the point of thinking about it now? The girl he had once desperately wanted to succeed for her, the girl who wanted to make a name for herself, had long since been thrown into the time corridor by him, going against the flow, never to be found again. She was already dead. How come there is only a pile of black ash left? Because of his poor family, Rong has seen all kinds of people in the world. He doesn't know that he can cry for a person he just met. Why is he crying? He is crying for the girl who is as beautiful as the bamboo on the island in the backyard of Lin's family. He knows clearly that she came to the Dragon Palace to save someone. Rong doesn't know who she wants to save, but he has never doubted her words. She is even kind enough to save him, whom she has only met once. How lucky he is to be her friend. She stole the bamboo sheets and asked him to translate the information. She was so happy when she got the information. But senior sister Lin died in this dungeon, killed by the sneak attack of a junior she knew. Senior sister Lin, do you regret welcoming such a junior with a smile? Rong kneels on the ground and tries to collect the black ash. However, a sudden breeze blows the ash away. Even the ash is gone? Feeling helpless, Rong buries his head on the ground and feels very sad. In a trance, he hears the woman in black saying, he knows the Shui script. Don't kill him. Take him away. In fact, this chapter is more like a story. The relationship between friends and enemies with Linny is not inexplicably good or bad. Former friends could betray them for the sake of benefits, but pure enemies weren't born to be so bad. Although Abao's writing wasn't good, he hoped that the supporting characters wouldn't be NPCs with facial expressions. Chapter 238. Although the number of words is small and it's midnight, it's the best update for a long time. Thank you for your support in the book review and comments section. Well, let's keep working hard. It's still the small stamp. The dim light shines on it. When Rong stands still again, he feels dizzy. When he opens his eyes again, he is back on the 7th floor of the Seaview Pavilion. The floor tile with different patterns has become dim. Rong guesses that he may not be able to go down to the dungeon from the original place. Miss Lin is still there all alone. Will she never be able to come out? As soon as they come out, and seems to have run out of patience. Give me the dragon marrow. Xian Yuanping puts away the stamp and plays with the bead in her hand. What? You don't want to go with me now? And doesn't admit it or deny it. Judging from his expression, he seems to hate Xian Yuanping. Rong doesn't know why he agreed to cooperate with her. Xian Yuanping holds the bead in her fingertips. Her red nails are very beautiful. It's a pity that you can erase her spiritual mind and get the bead. If you can't, you have to go with me now. When we get out, I will give the dragon marrow to Huizhu in front of him. Xian Yuanping says and puts the bead in her arms. She has a secret buckle on her waist for putting a small bead in. It's the safest way. Please be respectful to the superior. His Taoist name. And blushes. He is angry that Xian Yuanping calls him Huizhu. Every time she calls him by his name, Xian Yuanping turns a deaf ear to it. She walks a few steps without looking back. Her voice comes lightly. She sneers. Abidine? What do you want me to call him, little Taoist? No matter what, he doesn't deserve it. I'm not a member of the Qingqing Taoist temple. And is speechless. He doesn't want to talk about it in front of others, so he has to follow Xi and Yuanping. Ellie follows her anxiously. To be honest, she is confused when she sees that Xi and Yuanping is so familiar with the Dragon Palace. Why does Xi and Yuanping take her here? If her blood still had some effect, then what about Lianping, that trash? Is it just for this opportunity to humiliate Lin Luoran? Now that Lin Luoran is dead, are they worthless in the Dragon Palace? Ellie gets rid of these frightening guesses and catches up with Xi and Yuanping in 2 steps. Senior, where are we going? The uneasy Miss AI didn't say anything. There was an unconcealable flattery in her tone. To the treasury, of course. Ellie doesn't know if Xi and Yuanping has seen through her. Xian's attitude is kind, which makes Ellie feel relieved. Treasury. The treasury that he and senior sister Lin could not find? Rong is woken up by Lin Luoran's words. Yes, sister Lin has lost her life because of this. He can't avenge those supernatural people, but he can do something for her. He had to find the treasury, find the soul-nourishing wood that senior sister Lin was looking for, and bring it out safely. Rong makes up his mind. He is no longer muddle-headed. Now he has a goal, and he feels motivated. However, he doesn't think that even if he finds the soul-nourishing wood, he won't be able to survive. Xi and Yuanping won't let him escape with such a valuable treasure. Lin Luoran has a master in the level of bearing essence. Therefore, Rong has to die after his ability is exhausted. Xi and Yuanping and Rong have completely different thoughts. Rong is still useful to Xi and Yuanping. Xi and Yuanping looks at Lianping, who has lost his wits. Xi and Yuanping thinks, if I had known that Lin Luoran would be so easy to deal with, I wouldn't have brought this good-for-nothing here. Before Xi and Yuanping can say anything, they have come to the first floor. Outside the window, they see the flower bed of the Dragon Palace that Lin Luoran has explored before. The right side of the Seaview Pavilion. Isn't it there? Xi and Yuanping looks at Rong. It's such a big place. It's a shame that you couldn't find it. Rong clenches his fists unconsciously. Sister Lin did search this strange garden. If she didn't come here to find him, would she have entered the treasury and found the soul-nourishing wood? Would that mean that he wouldn't die? Thinking of this possibility, Rong's back is soaked with sweat. He has a feeling that he may have to bear this burden for the rest of his life. They arrived in front of a strange-looking tree. It was full of sharp thorns and had no leaves or flower buds. It was out of place in this Dragon Palace garden, which was of a large scale and took the high-end route. While Rong is thinking about its abnormality, Xi and Yuanping looks at the strange tree and laughs. No one knows why she is laughing. Xi and Yuanping suddenly grabs Ellie's white and tender palm and presses it on the strange tree. Ah! Thorns longer than an inch pierce into Ellie's palm. Some of the sharp thorns even penetrate through her palm. Ellie is so painful that she almost faints. No one has expected that Xi and Yuanping will do this. Not to mention that Xi and Yuanping is in great pain. Ellie's scream even wakes up Lianping, who has lost his wits. Seeing Ellie's horrible palm, he feels sorry for her. What a vicious person. Seeing that the blood on the wound has been absorbed, and knows that Xi and Yuanping needs Ellie's blood. However, there are so many ways to take blood, but she chooses the cruelest one. She is so stubborn, and looks away. He can't bear to watch it. Among all the people here, Rong is the only one who feels disgusted and relieved at the same time. He believes that this is karma. In the dungeon, this woman hit Miss Lin with her right hand. Now she is being punished like this. God is right. The strange tree is absorbing Ellie's blood. Everyone quickly discovered this fact, because this withered wood-like thing actually turned bright red in a short period of time, looking very evil. Xi and Yuanping finally releases Ellie and throws her on the ground rudely. Looking at the change of the strange tree, she feels happy. This time, Xi and Yuanping doesn't give Ellie any tonic like she did the first time. Maybe she forgets it, or she doesn't think it is necessary anymore. She will just abandon a person who has been used up. The strange tree was terrifyingly red, but it also emitted a glorious red light. As it shrank and shrank, it formed a projection on the ground, like a door? Rong is a little upset. Even if they found it at that time, They can't open the entrance without Ellie's blood. It suddenly occurs to the nerd that the woman in black has taken Ellie's blood twice. Ellie's blood is closely related to the Dragon Palace. What is going on? However, he doesn't have time to think. Xian Yuanping grabs his collar and steps into the shadow with him, and hesitates for a moment and then steps in. Xian Yuanping turns around and sneers. Do you want to die with her? Li Anping, who was about to squat down to check Ellie's injury, shivers. Die with her? In his mind, Ellie is not even 1/10 of Lin Luoran. Since he can watch Lin Luoran die in front of him, how can he bear to die with Ellie? Without hesitation, Li Anping steps into the shadow quickly without looking back. With a flash of light and shadow, everyone disappears in the garden. The strange tree also fades back to its original color. Ellie, who has lost too much blood, curls up on the ground like a dying crayfish. There are tears on her half-buried face. Chapter 240. Something soft and slippery is wrapped around Rong's finger, which startles him. When he takes a closer look, it turns out to be a cat's eye stone ring. The shape is simple, which is suitable for men. Although they are not sure if the ring on Rong's finger is a storage ring, it is obviously not a real cat's eye stone ring. This is enough to make An and Xian angry. Why did they choose two mortals for the treasure that they couldn't even get their hands on even if they had been so careful? Is it because the treasure has a spirit and wants to choose its owner? And has a feeling that things are not so simple? Li Anping is in a dilemma with the belt in his hand. Xian Yuanping didn't ask for it, so he didn't give it to her. Seeing this, Rong imitates him. He calmly puts on the cat's eye stone ring and starts to walk around the room. Xian Yuanping and An are not willing to give up. The flying fog is what they want very much. They look around at the flying fog, trying to get what they want. However, there are thousands of fog. How can they find the hairpin and the blue jade porcelain bottle in the constantly changing fog? Rong looks around and sees some bumps on the pillar. He takes a closer look and finds that it is a paragraph of text. He stops and reads it, which attracts Xian Yuanping's attention. What did you find? Xian Yuanping approaches him. Rong hates them very much. If it were something else, he wouldn't want to translate it for them, or he would make a mistake on purpose. However, this paragraph of text reminds him of the scene just now, and he is very happy. The first floor of the Palace of Jiuhua is just for some common things in the eyes of dragons, such as elixirs, magic weapons, and ores. It is a place for young dragons to play. It is similar to the ceremony of capturing Zhou in ancient times. Every young dragon will be brought to the Palace of Jiuhua by the Dragon King when they are 3 years old, and have a chance to choose a gift. These precious treasures in the eyes of low-level cultivators were just toys for young dragons years ago. To make it more interesting, the young dragons will be randomly chosen by the gift. If they ask for it by force, the chance will disappear. It's gone, so you won't get anything. Rong is secretly venting his anger, and is just a little disappointed. Xian Yuanping has always been stubborn, otherwise she wouldn't have fallen into the devil. She is the one who is most angry. Go to the second one. Xian Yuanping is so embarrassed that she leaves the first hall. Rong follows Rong leisurely with a stick. He still needs to stay alive to find the soul wood in the 7th temple. Of course, he doesn't want to help Xian Yuanping. Xian Yuanping may think that Rong is more valuable than Li Anping now. Whenever there is an adventure, she asks Li Anping to go first, and the three of them follow him. Li Anping was also a person who had experienced the ups and downs of life. He was no longer the fool he was a few years ago. He quickly calmed down. Lin Luoran is dead, and Ellie seems to be dying. However, he wants to live. He wants to live a better life than everyone else. He even wants to learn these magical spells and step on Xian Yuanping. Therefore he has to live carefully. Li Anping touches the storage bag on his waist and walks cautiously. They walked to the second palace hall without any difficulty and did not encounter any danger. According to the bamboo slips, the second palace hall was filled with all kinds of strange stones in the world. They were the miracles of nature, spirit stones for cultivation, ores for refining, and so on. However, at this moment, There are only some ordinary stones left in the second palace hall. Rong picks up a stone and looks at it. It looks ordinary. He thinks that the stone is covered with dust, and is about to breathe on it to wipe it. However, when he breathes on it, it is covered with water vapor. On the surface of the gray stone, there is a shadow of a moon and the back of a woman in ancient costume flying away on a cloud, Chang'e flying to the moon. This is a wonderful work of the creator. This stone is not big. Rong plays with it for a while and puts it in his backpack. Xian Yuanping doesn't care about ordinary stones. She also passes the second palace empty-handed. The third palace is filled with swords in the world. They are the lifelong efforts of famous casters in the mortal world, and the proud works of the masters of refining weapons in the world of cultivation. It is said that there are immortal swords. However, no one can be sure without seeing them. Of course, that is only the record on the bamboo slips. Anyway, Rong doesn't even see a sword hilt. However, there are many empty shelves, which proves that these famous swords and magic weapons really exist. The fourth palace, the fifth palace, the sixth palace. They pass each palace without any danger. However, they also get nothing, because of some false alarms and the fact that they don't want to miss any clues. It takes them a whole day to explore the first 6 palaces. When they come to the 7th palace, Rong is nervous, while Xian Yuanping looks terrible. The disappearance of the dragon race is not an escape, but a planned migration. Only the first palace has some children's toys. The other palaces are all empty. They get nothing. The more it is like this, the more conspicuous the things Li Anping and Rong get in the first palace are. Li Anping has tried his best to hide his existence, but Xian Yuanping still glances at him from time to time, which makes him scared. The 7th palace is different from the previous ones. The door is closed. It is not open. Rong knows that Xian Yuanping has a magical small seal, which is like the master key to the dragon palace. He is not worried about how to enter the 7th palace. What worries Rong is whether there is soul wood in the palace. How can he take the soul wood out? Rong starts to think about how to escape. Well, let's take a rest here. Xian Yuanping seems to see that he is in a hurry, but she doesn't go in immediately. Instead, she prepares to take a rest. Both Xian Yuanping and An have just surpassed the realm of ordinary people. They are still far from the level of the wind food dew. They are hungry, thirsty, and need rest. Xian Yuanping doesn't care about Rong and Li Anping. Besides, Xian Yuanping and Li Anping are so creepy that they don't dare to ask her for food, and takes out some water and food from the storage bag and gives them to Rong and Li Anping. Rong knows that patience is the key to survival. Facing Lin Luoran's murderer, he doesn't throw the food away. Instead, he eats it up without wasting anything. No matter what he does, he needs strength. Spirit herbs are very effective on ordinary people. Rong has tried it secretly. He can walk without the stick. His calf is almost healed. However, he still pretends to be lame so that Rong can't see it. After dinner, Rong finds a corner and falls asleep. He is woken up by Li Anping. Rong turns to the side. Xian Yuanping and An are in high spirits after some rest. The door of the 7th palace is open. Rong almost bites his tongue. They opened the 7th palace while he was sleeping. Rong soon realizes this fact and wakes up. In this case, she wakes him up at this moment. It seems that Xian Yuanping keeps him alive for this moment. She needs him to translate some words. Rong gets up and looks into the palace. He has foreseen many things, but he has never seen this. Xian Yuanping and An can't believe what they are seeing. Yes, the 7th palace is protected by the prohibition. After pushing open the heavy door, they see a room full of treasures. The 7th floor is like the exhibition hall of a museum. Booths of different sizes fill the entire hall. Every treasure had a small platform that belonged to them. On the platform, they emitted light of various sizes, competing to display their value. Such a scene is a great test of people's Taoist heart. Cultivators and mortals are all greedy. The treasures on the booths are tempting people to fight for them. A stone tablet stood quietly at the entrance. Previously, this place had been empty. It seemed like this was something that only appeared when the 7th layer was opened. Seeing the Shui script on it, Rong knows his task immediately. He forces himself to stop thinking about the soul wood and focus on translating the words on the stone tablet. But after reading a few lines, he broke out in a cold sweat. What did it say? This mortal is very patient. Xian Yuanping is also curious about what the stone tablet has said to make him look like this. Chapter 241. The Ninth Palace. How is it possible? They have passed the first 6 palaces on their way here. How come they are suddenly in the 9th palace? The Palace of Jiuhua, has 9 treasures, and 9 is an extreme number. They just took a nap. How did they pass the 7th and 8th palaces without realizing it? The 9th palace? How is it possible? Xian Yuanping, who has always been fearless, is now uneasy. Obviously, and is not as familiar with the Dragon Palace as Xian and Rong. Seeing their expressions change, he asks, "The Palace of Nothingness? What's wrong with that? Since we are already in the 9th palace, let's enter it." Xian Yuanping feels shameless and doesn't even want to talk to him. Rong's face is solemn. The palace is called the Palace of Nothingness. The most valuable treasure of the Dragon Palace is placed here. To protect this treasure, many fake treasures are placed here. Every living person who enters the Palace of Nothingness can choose a treasure just like in the first level. The difficult part is that you don't know if what you're choosing is an ordinary grain of sand, the carcass of some creature, or a real treasure. Li Anping has been quietly weakening his existence. Hearing this, he can't help but say, "Isn't it just like the first palace? Luck." As he spoke, he couldn't help but touch the beautiful jade belt on his waist. This time, he had been very lucky in the Dragon Palace. The 2 women who dumped him died one after another, and he even got an item used by immortals. Li Anping sat down and planned. He thinks he is right. However, Xian Yuanping says coldly, "Shut up and let him finish." Rong points at the steel and says, "However, most of the shining treasures are traps to protect the treasures. What we choose may tear us apart in the next moment. Or we may be imprisoned in this hall forever, and become the guardians of the treasures like these so-called treasures. Of course, the premise is that mortals like you and me still have souls after we die. Treasures are tempting, but you have to be alive to enjoy them," and has been in the Dragon Palace for a long time. What he wants most is the dragon marrow that Huizhu told him, and the Muqian bolus he saw in the first palace. He doesn't want to fight for the valuable treasure at all. He shows his attitude. Rong shakes his head. "You have to choose as many people as you want. You can't give up now. Look around." For sides? The stone tablet turned, and they actually moved from the outside to the inside of the hall. There were all kinds of sparkling treasures all around, but everyone felt a chill in their hearts. No one is not afraid of death. Even Xian Yuanping, who has fallen into the devil's path, turns into a devil in the blood pool because she is eager to survive. But at this moment, they had already lost the initiative to choose. After entering the Temple of Nothingness, they had to make a choice. The door of the temple was already slowly closing. Whether they would be trapped in a prison or return with treasures, it all depended on their luck. Each of the high and low display stands had its own unique treasure. What was their true form? Even those who were usually lucky enough to win small prizes were not confident in their luck at this moment. Silence. A long period of silence. No one dared to make the first move. Xian Yuanping rolls her eyes and points at Li Anping with her slender index finger. "You choose first." "Let me choose first." Li Anping's heart tightened. On this colorful display stand, every treasure looks so real. No matter whether it is the rich Reiki or the power, there is no flaw. Xian Yuanping, and can't tell which one is real and which one is fake. As for an ordinary person like Li Anping, he can only rely on his luck. He is so nervous that his back starts to sweat. He glances at every treasure. Because there are so many display stands, Li Anping feels dizzy. Even his peripheral vision is full of the brilliance of the treasures, which makes him unable to look directly at them. Which one should he choose? Will he rise to the top and become rich? Or will he touch a fatal trap? This is a choice of life and death. Li Anping is nervous and solemn. He doesn't know what to choose. He paces back and forth between the stands. Every time he reaches out his hand, he draws it back in fear. Surprisingly, Xian Yuanping is kind and doesn't urge him. Because everyone's choice, even Li Onping, who has always been despised by her, is on the same boat at this moment. Their fates are tied together. Finally, Li Onping stops with his eyes closed. Under such pressure, his eyes are dazzled, but he doesn't make a decision. It seems that he has decided to leave his fate to God. God wants him to die, or to return with treasures. Li Onping reaches out his hand with his eyes closed. On his right hand, there is a bronze knife, only 2 inches long. The light is not dazzling, but it has a kind of low-key power. Li Onping's fingers touch the bronze knife. The 4 people hold their breath at the same time. 2 inches, 1 inch, half a centimeter. The bronze knife is finally in Li Onping's hand. His 8 eyes didn't even dare to blink as he stared at the dagger that was moving up and down. What would its true form be? Li Onping hopes that it is a treasure knife, and Xian Yuanping also hopes that it is a useful magic weapon. Anyway, in her mind, everything in Li Onping's hand will eventually belong to her. It doesn't matter who is lucky. Young master and wants nothing but the dragon marrow and the Muqian bolus. He only hopes that the bronze knife won't kill them. Only Rong secretly curses that what Li Onping has caught is a disgusting and useless thing, which makes them happy for nothing. With a slight sound, the bronze knife finally stops moving. The mist disperses, and its original body is revealed. A wine cup? Maybe it is the effect of the Hall of Nothingness. When they see Li Onping's object, they think of its name, Bamboo Root Rhinoceros Horn Cup. Bamboo was abundant in Sichuan, and bamboo carvings had been famous since ancient times. In addition, the rhinoceros horn inlaid at the base was even more ingenious. The precious rhinoceros horn was exquisitely polished, and was inlaid at the bottom of the cup. The top half of the cup was made of bamboo, and the bottom was covered with the rhinoceros horn. The two were seamless, and it was an artistic treasure. Especially in the eyes of Rong Donglin, who is half a researcher, it has a kind of weathered beauty, which makes people unable to move their eyes away from it. It is a pity that it is a useless ordinary object. Seeing that Xian Yuanping and An are not interested, Li Onping knows that what he has found is probably not something good. Li Onping is naturally disappointed, but Rong is tempted. He thinks for a while and takes out some pearls from his backpack. He wants to exchange the cup with Li Onping. Although Li Onping can't see the value of this dusty cup, he obviously inherits Granny Li's shrewdness. In the end, he asks for 10 pearls from Rong. Rong carries a small backpack of pearls. He doesn't care about 10 pearls. After exchanging the cup, Xian Yuanping starts to ask him to choose. Rong doesn't miss Li Onping's greedy eyes when they look at his backpack. Rong is so stupid that he still wants to take advantage of him. Rong doesn't want to talk to him. He doesn't even look at Rong's eyes and reaches for something on the display table next to him. Xian Yuanping is angry. Be careful when you choose. Careful? Rong laughs. No matter which one I choose, the probability is the same. Xian Yuanping is speechless. It is a matter of probability. Rong picks up an inkstone. After the inkstone flashes in his hand, everyone is speechless. It is still an inkstone. The inkstone doesn't have a name. It has no Reiki, so it is also an ordinary object. Rong guesses that it may be an ordinary object. Before it was brought into the Hall of Nothingness, it was not famous, so the Hall of Nothingness didn't bother to record it. Although Xian Yuanping and the others don't want to look at it again, Rong is still happy to put it on. Even if it is a broken stone, it has been in the Dragon Palace for so many years. It is an antique. Perhaps it was because the first 2 people had made a good start that diluted a lot of the tension related to life and death. Shaoan took the initiative to choose the third option. Many of the treasures were dazzling. Shaoan walked around and randomly picked a talisman made of an unknown material. The talisman characters on it were simple and unadorned, and it was filled with spiritual qi. Shaoan couldn't move her eyes away from it. Magic figure. The most powerful pillar of the Qingqing Taoist temple. And reaches out and picks it up, hoping that it is the real treasure. In contrast, Xian Yuanping's breath is heavy when she sees Anne's choice. She seems to care a lot about the result of Anne's choice. Rong has changed a lot, and he is not as soft as before. He is smart and has worked in all kinds of industries. He has a good eye and is very observant. He sees Xian Yuanping's nervousness, which makes Rong think about it. Even if Anne makes the right choice, they still don't know the result of Xian Yuanping's chance. It is still very likely that they will all be wiped out. Xian Yuanping is so nervous about Anne's choice. Is she sure that as long as Anne makes the right choice this time, they will be fine? It can't be. Rong thinks of what is recorded on the stone tablet. He is not sure that Xian Yuanping has a backup plan. Anne holds the magic figure in his hand and looks at it expectantly. With a flash, the magic figure in his hand is changing. Looking at the growing size of the magic figure, Anne is a little disappointed. It probably won't be the magic figure. He is really unlucky. It looks like it is going to explode. Rong keeps a distance from Anne. His words make Xian Yuanping summon the Black Lotus to protect herself. Anne's forehead is covered with cold sweat. Once the magic figure is in his hand, it will not leave the hand of the person who chose it. All he can do now is to force himself to calm down and wait for the judgment of fate. Beep, beep. There was a short and urgent sound. The thing in Xiaoan's hand was still expanding. This urgent sound was like a countdown timer pressing down on everyone's heart, making everyone extremely nervous. Xian Yuanping clenches her fists. She can't lose at the last moment. Soon, as long as the little Taoist makes the right choice, she will succeed. The tense atmosphere makes it hard for her to breathe. Xian Yuanping can't help looking at a direction in the hall. She has had many troubles since she was a child. Will the Tao of Nature really not be on her side? No, I will definitely win this time. The Black Lotus floats in front of her, forming a strong protective cover. Maybe the Tao of Nature is always unfair. As Xian Yuanping grits her teeth, the light in Anne's hand suddenly grows. With an explosion, everyone's mind is broken. Chapter 242. Bang, 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 bang. The strong light overwhelms all the other lights in the room. Rong's eyes are dazzled, and the light becomes a temporary visual obstacle. Because he can't see anything, Rong even thinks that he is dead. However, the strong light soon disappears. Xian Yuanping's annoying face appears in Rong's sight again. He knows that he is not dead. Even if he is going to hell, he will not go to the same level as this woman. Rong blinks and looks at the thing in Anne's hand. The light is so strong. This vicious little Taoist must have found something good. It is so unfair. However, Justice soon shows his hands to Rong. Justice is just a child, and he is innocent. The thing in Anne's hand is so big that he can hardly take it off. Sadly, why does it look so familiar? Rong looks at it for a while and finally recognizes it. Thanks to his part-time job in the aquarium, this thing is a dead starfish. It was very big, but it was a starfish, and it was very tough. If he were not worried that Xian Yuanping and him would fall out with each other, Rong almost couldn't help laughing out loud. It's karma. The Dragon Palace is against such a vicious person. It's so funny. His eyes are wet. School sister Lin, it's a pity that I can't avenge you with my own hands. And throws the dead starfish away. His hands are stinky. Xian Yuanping can't help smiling. She is ecstatic. She is ecstatic at this moment. Putting away the Black Lotus, Xian Yuanping takes out the small seal that looks like a master key and rubs it. She casts a spell again. The small seal is resistant to the Devil Reiki. Xian Yuanping holds the Black Lotus and sneers. So what? You have to listen to me. Otherwise, I'll destroy this remnant of your soul, and destroy this Dragon Palace. People like Xian Yuanping will not go crazy for no reason. Rong suspects that she is talking to the silver dragon living in the small seal. Demons are demons. They are so arrogant in front of dragons. Even if it is a dead dragon, Xian Yuanping's deep hostility seems to make the small seal feel uneasy. After buzzing, it has to fly up and down in the hall under the control of Xian's Devil Reiki. It seemed to be looking for something. The light emitted by the little seal was like the inspection instrument of the geological survey team. From time to time, some treasures on the exhibition stand would respond to it, but the little seal would fly away. What was it that the demoness was looking for so seriously? The three of them were very curious and nervous. The Hall of Nothingness seemed to be completely reliant on luck. It had been difficult for them to pass 3 levels in a row. No matter how intelligent the seal was, they did not dare to fully trust it. Xian Yuanping trusts the stamp's ability very much. When the buzzing stamp floats above an inconspicuous booth in the corner, her ecstasy finally shows on her face. Was he finally going to get what he had been preparing for so long? Xian Yuanping doesn't have time to put away the stamp. She reaches out and grabs the treasure on the stand. It was just an ordinary brush, but even the stupidest person would know that its body was not that simple. What could it be? It seemed to take a long time to restore it. Xian Yuanping's choice was not only related to her own interests, but also to their lives. The brush bounced up and down, shining brightly. Rong secretly cursed that it was still a rotten starfish. However, this time, the Hall of Nothingness played a trick on all of them. A piece of rotten wood appeared in Xian Yuanping's hand after the light faded. The mysterious knowledge appeared in everyone's mind again. Soul wood, the 7th treasure of the Hall of Jiuhua, could reconstruct the soul. No matter what explanation Xian Yuanping gave, and no matter how disappointed Xian Yuanping looked at the rotten wood in her hand, Rong couldn't help taking 2 steps forward. Soul wood. The demoness actually chose the soul wood that Miss Lin was looking for. How could he get it back? Rong is so nervous that his hands are all wet with sweat. What? Do you want it? Xian Yuanping spreads out the soul wood. The withered appearance of the soul wood cannot extinguish Rong's greed. Yes, he wants the soul wood. Even if he can't take it out alive, he has to fight for it. This is Rong's twisted pride and sense of responsibility. Xian Yuanping snorted coldly. She grabs Rong's neck and lifts him up with one hand. Lianping shrinks. He is afraid that he will be the next one to be treated like this. And frowns. He doesn't know whether he should stop Xian Yuanping or not. Rong is almost out of breath. This demoness is so unimaginative. She grabbed Luodong's neck like this in the square, and she doesn't even know how to change the mode of attack. She is so lame. Rong feels that he can breathe less and less air. His breath becomes rapid. Is he really going to die this time? Last time, Luodong's classmate was grabbed by the neck like this. Miss Lin came from the sky and saved him. Unfortunately, senior sister Lin had already left before him. There was no one else to save him from the sky. If he dies like this, will Lin's family take care of his family? His parents have lost their ability to work, and his sister is still in middle school. Rong's consciousness starts to fade. Uncle Lin and Aunt Lin are good people. They will take care of his family. If he dies like this, he will have no regrets. What? You don't want to come out when your lover is dying in front of you, Miss Lin? Xian Yuanping's voice shakes Rong's consciousness. Miss Lin? Miss Lin is the only one. She was struck into ashes by lightning. Is she still alive? Xian Yuanping holds Rong Donglin in her hand and looks around the hall with vigilance. I knew that you wouldn't die so easily. When I get the rotten wood and the door of the hall is still closed, I am sure that you are still alive. Lin, stop hiding. Xian Yuanping shouts. It seems that Lin is really hiding in the shadow of a booth, waiting for an opportunity to strike the people who tried to kill her. Yes, the stone tablet says that the door of the hall will not open until everyone chooses a treasure. However, at this moment, all of them have made their choices. Lianping chooses the West Shu bamboo root rhinoceros horn cup. Rong chooses an inkstone and gets a dead starfish, and Xian Yuanping chooses the soul wood which Lin Luoran wants so much. Why is the door still closed after all of them have made their choices? Could it be that there really was a 5th person hiding in a dark corner of the palace? Who is it? Lin Luoran escaped. However, the hall is so bright that there is no shadow. Xian Yuanping's fierce eyes fall on nothing. Doesn't she want to come out? Xian Yuanping's eyes flash with anger. She throws Rong out. It is a sharp booth. If Rong hits it, he will definitely die. As the saying goes, the one who knows you best is your enemy. Xian Yuanping looks around vigilantly. If Lin is still alive and follows them into the hall, she will definitely come out to save this mortal. She will definitely kill Xian Yuanping. Or to be exact, Xian Yuanping will die in the heart of a cultivator. Xian Yuanping can't help but laugh. She won't be moved even if 1,000 mortals like Lin die in front of her. However, she knows that Lin will. Rong flies out. He is surrounded by Xian Yuanping's spiritual mind. If Lin Luoran dares to come out, Xian Yuanping will kill her. Rong steps back and collides with many wooden booths. Treasures fall all over the ground. In a split second he is very close to the booth with a sharp corner. Xian Yuanping sneers. The black lotus flashes in front of her, ready to attack at any time. But in the next second, a sharp pain came from her right arm that had just been reattached not long ago. She couldn't help but lower her head. A green shadow flashed past the corner of her eyes, and her bare wrist was cut off. Blood that was a shade darker than normal gushed out like a fountain. It took her 3 years to reattach this arm. She cherishes it very much. In her right hand is the soul wood, which she doesn't care about, but Lin Luoran wants very much. Kill you. I will kill you. Xian Yuanping holds her right arm. There is hatred in her eyes. In front of the sharp corner booth, Rong is caught by a rope made of reiki and falls to the ground. A pretty figure is standing beside him. She is wearing her favorite green dress and holding a sword. She is looking at the three of them with cold eyes. Lin. And staggers and can't stand. He swallows back the words master. As the heir of Qingqing Taoist Temple who has been calm behind the scenes, and knows that he probably can't be like before anymore in this life, holding the salute of a junior and calling her martial uncle. Rong lies on the ground and coughs violently. His voice is broken and he laughs. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.